Sorry for keeping everybody.
You good? Brace yourselves.
Now recording.
All
Welcome.
right. Force a habit there, Tyler.
That was so good.
Actually, I was just welcoming Craig in,
Uh-huh.
but sure.
Okay.
Sure, sure.
All right. I feel weird saying this instead of answering this, but who wants to recap session 0 for inspiration?
I would love to.
All you.
Sorry, I took a bite. It would have been funny if I just said I'd love to and then just didn't. No. So we started with events prior, almost inciting incidents, if you will. Where each of us found ourselves on our way or affiliated in some fashion with the Witchlight Carnival. Arlen's family was applying for work there as performers. Um, Court was already employed and was asked by one of his co-workers to help him find a missing co-worker. Banner arrived with his creator, as I understand it, looking for work as well. And Hemlock and his sister were sent away to do things while the parents needed time at home. So we all bumped into each other at various points, did not necessarily become acquainted per se, but have now a passing familiarity with each other's faces over the course of an evening where each of us without tickets was found on the premises of the Witchlight carnival. During the evening, we discovered that Banner's creator has gone missing, and have no understanding of where he could be. Court had no luck finding their coworker, and instead had his wings taken from him. Arlen ran off after presumably a ghost girl, and had his leg kind of taken, his material leg taken. And Hemlock and his sister just kind of got the daylight scared out of them by a piece of memory vanishing from them. And we were all caught and found out because we were not we were not where we were allowed to be, and we were sent away by Mr. Light and Mr. Witch, and Court and Arlen continued with the carnival as it has traveled on for years and years and years. Banner has been roaming the countryside in uh, somewhat participating in his one-man act of being the most incredible chess player that walked the region of Flame. Um, and Hemlock stayed home and studied like a good boy. Um, I, th- I, I think that's substantial enough.
Yep, that does pretty much cover it all. Um, and so over the 8 years during which Court and Arlen have traveled with the Witchlight Carnival, Court as an entertainer, and Arlen serving as both a Witchlight hand and as an entertainer of a sort, putting on shows largely for younger audiences, as sort of a story time corner near Durlegrand's lost property uh, tent. Nothing along the lines of what happened in Flane ever seems to happen again. There are several performers who do decide to leave the Witchlight Carnival. Glister, who has never been able to find her sister Gleam, one day goes in to speak to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, and then just leaves the carnival. Several other individuals, those of you who work at the carnival know, do go missing under slightly less cordial circumstances. The bugbear Hurley, brother to Burley, who you both know of as a Witchlight hand and one of the main laborers and messengers of Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, decides on the continent, or not the continent, the world of Eberron, that he is not really pleased with the direction of his employment at the carnival, and then there is a large argument between Hurley and Burley, the two bugbears. But in terms of people losing limbs, feet, or wings, or anything really, something of that scale never happens again. And no, that is in fact the way it is spelled.
You have got to be joking. You have got to be bagging my groceries right now.
No.
When Ted sent me the name of the region, I was like, "Oh, Flan? Huh, that's a weird choice of a name, but I guess." And then he said it out loud. I was like, "Actually, that sounds better," but I would never have guessed that.
No,
I'm going to be honest. I'm not positive Flane is the correct pronunciation. I use it so that I am not describing a breakfast or a dessert food. Excuse me. And I am not describing a pudding.
Completely unrelated, but thank you, Oliver. You've got to be bagging my groceries right now. It's fucking awesome, and I'm definitely putting that in my lexicon.
Thanks. I've forgotten where I've stolen that one from, but I'm glad to pass the torch.
For those who stay on Faerun, life settles into the pretty standard monotony of life in Faerun. So that is to say, not extremely monotonous for certain individuals, certainly more monotonous for the average everyday person of Faerun. Banner, your wanderings take you around the Moonsea area, but as you said last time, Banner doesn't really find the success that he had when Harold was there as his partner. He does occasionally, when he makes his way back into Flane, find that his presence is sort of the talk of the town, especially among some of the wealthier individuals who regularly have an area set up to square off against regularly square off against Banner in games of Dragon Chess. In fact, Dragon Chess actually has become somewhat of a staple of Flanish entertainment at this point, because of because of Banner's regular arrivals. For Hemlock, however, things are. There is, of course, the family business going on, and things between your parents and their previous guest seem to develop an urgency on their part, especially when they seem to have found the object of their search. This the manuscript that you saw the vulturish individual bring them last time. Again, it's not really translated since it's not a language, but um, one day, about 5 years after the arrival of the Witchlight Carnival, I did not get that. One day, about 5 years after the first arrival of the Witchlight Carnival, a second vulturish individual with a similar kind of squeaky voice and the same smell of dust and ruin and spoiled milk joins the first, bringing with him a manuscript, not a manuscript, a codex of some sort. This book seems to be the cover is some sort of white leather, and the writing is all in a dark ochre ink that, as you look at it, tends to. It appears that it sort of runs off the page, only to pull back up onto the hide, air quotes, paper of this tome. And while you occasionally get a look at it and can read a word here or there before the words run off and reform, you're never given a proper opportunity to fully sit down and read it. But 8 years to the day that the Witchlight Carnival, well, a day shy, really, of 8 years since the Witchlight Carnival landed outside Flame and altered the course of your respective lives for a considerable time, and in a way that none of you could have ever imagined. A single figure, tall, carrying a large crate on its back, crests over a hill in the early hours of the night, the same hill where a rather thick forest has grown up around what was once just a dense wood rather than a forest. Sets down the crate, climbs on top, and sits cross-legged and still. The moon fully rises into the sky. The stars come out through what cloud cover there is, and silently, but with the sparkling of lights and of many, many colors, a series of wagons once again appears in the sky, pulled by horses with butterfly wings on their back. There are more wagons than there were 8 years ago. The carnival seems to have grown somewhat. And they land probably 50 feet away from you, Banner. The closest wagon does.
Mhm.
And from the back of this very large and fancy wagon, a figure you have not seen for some time, but whose shape you still remember quite well, steps out in a very fancy window paned suit with a top hat and a cane, looks down at his watch, stands there for a second, and then his head snaps up as if he realizes that you are there. He nods his head, he tips his hat, and he turns his back, and he goes about some business. And as he turns away, you can see a brief flash of blue lights, sort of like a little puff, come from the watch, and the wagons begin to unfold themselves. The young treant, Northwind, whose branches have grown, who has probably put on another 2 feet of height, most of it in the bright leaves that make up his air quotes hair, once again trundles off to the woods with his very relaxed, swaying walk. Come on, dudes, we're back. There's more of you now. This is looking real good. His voice is the same sort of calm, even timbre as he awakens some of the trees, and the trees move out of their way, move out of the way of the carnival and the unfolding blue ribbon that begins to form a very misty, foggy river around the Witchlight Carnival. As this giant blue river, I'm glad somebody got that. Thank you all.
You're welcome.
As this, there is a large brown ribbon, a brown bow on top of this collection of blue ribbon, which unfolds itself into a small bridge over the winding river that surrounds the Witchlight Carnival. And 8 hours later, as the sun begins to rise, the air is still fairly silent. Birds have not yet awoken, and there are no sounds coming from what is a fully realized and expanded Witchlight Carnival. As the sun does begin to sort of peek over the mountains that are not far from the Gates of Flame, the light is making its way through a barred window and into the bedroom of a young tiefling who is probably, I'm assuming, passed out across a couple volumes looking for some sort of hint, some sort of translation as to the few sigils and marks that you glimpsed in this codex brought, brought by brought by your parents' mysterious guests. It is to a early knock, Hemlock, that you awaken, with the usual absolute lack of care for your privacy. The door opens to show Valentine, your one of your 2 parents.
My dad.
Well,
And,
yes.
And my mom.
I'm sure there's no story there.
And they look at you as you groggily lift your head from your desk, and she just shakes her head and clicks her tongue a few times. Oh, Hemlock, my sweet boy. What were you up doing all night again?
Sorry. I thought I had something. If you turn it at exactly 43 degrees, see some of these symbols begin looking a little bit more as if they're transmutive. But then when it goes 42, it changes somewhat. You can almost see some infernal script. I swear there is something. I will find it. I promise.
No, no, Hemlock, you needn't have troubled yourself all night for this. You should have slept.
I
I mean, Yarrow's already translated a few of the pages for us. It's I'm sure what you have will also be helpful, but uh, well, our guest will be back this evening. I think with what
oh,
Yarrow's uncovered and the workings of our two guests, well, I think we might have a full translation. Well, we'll find out tonight, but for now, Hemlock, go get yourself fed and get yourself cleaned up. Our guests will be here for a much more formal event early this afternoon.
afternoon. Yes. Yes. All right. And he stands and begins shuffling pages together correctly, and says, uh, and should we prepare to demonstrate anything?
I believe our guests will have some questions. There will be a few. Well, I don't think there's anything you need to worry about. Certainly nothing to prepare. Just be ready. Make sure you're awake and cleaned up and
Yes. Yes. And he removes the one lens of the spectacles he wears, rubs his eyes, uh, and leaves before she does.
as you excuse me, as you run out your bedroom door, down the hallway at the next door on the left, your sister Yarrow is standing in the hallway, already dressed and hair brushed, fully prepared, and just very even toned. Oh, good morning, Hemlock. Mother told you about the plans for the evening, I take it.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Um. Uh, yes. Yes. I heard that you had some success, breakthrough. I'm very impressed. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Not it was nothing incredible, really, just a little anthromycin, divination by entrail.
Mm, mm,
One of our newest guests was kind enough to provide for such a such a spell work.
generous. Well, congratulations. Um, well, if you need any more help with the more practical matter of translation, um, I'm more than willing to help.
I will come to you if I need you. Her tone
Of
makes it
course.
clear that she has no intention of doing so.
Yeah. It was fucking cold, Ted. He sort of lowers his head and hurries back down the hall, stonework amplifying the hoof beats as he moves. It's very quiet.
Arlen, you wake up in the large carriage wagon that your family still uses as their mobile place of residence. And when you get up, they have already gone. They are um, they have begun work on a new show that they are planning to debut at this evening's Big Top Extravaganza. And so uh, a whole lot of work has been going into getting sets, getting lines memorized, getting blocking, and all of that. But there is still a note, a folded piece of paper sitting on a breakfast tray on the table that just says, "Arlen, congratulations on your first day back home." Home being this plane where you spent so much time. "We know everything's going to go great. We hope to see you at the show." The plate is full of pastries and um, bacon and all sorts of things for breakfast. Um,
Oh, wizard! And he starts digging in.
where- Give me a second. That broke me. All right. Okay. We're going with wizard. All right. That just all I can think of is robot chicken. I'm bringing it back. Anyway, outside, as you shovel the rest of or the last few bites of breakfast down and step out of the wagon, a familiar figure is waiting for you there. You see Nicholas Midnight, the small elderly goblin who sort of has taken many of the management aspects of the Witchlight Carnival off the hands of Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. He was already handling, as with your parents and uh, a few others that day, the sort of hiring of entertainers and human resources. And lately, he has been doling out essentially the day's tasks, the day's jobs. And as he sees you climbing down the wagon, he hobbles over. He was old when you first met him 8 years ago, and dimensional or planetary hopping has not really done much for his gait, as he has started to lean even more heavily on the cane. Uh, and he walks up to you. "Hey, Arlen, uh, welcome back
Hey,
to
Nicky Nighttime, good to see you.
Nicholas."
Nicholas Nighttime, good to
No,
see you.
yeah, okay, all right. Don't be too cute, kid. I do sign your paycheck. Look,
And I'm getting
just
paid.
I mean, have you not been getting? I mean, it's not a lot. It's mostly room and board. Have you?
Yeah, no, I mean it's a joke, man. How's it going? What you need?
Right. So, given everything that's going on today, we're going to need you to make sure you got the small games prizes stocked. There's a couple of crates over just outside the staff area, past the walls. All the little like challenge booths, like the big Basha Beholder, the the dots, that stuff. Make sure they're all stocked up. Make sure the giant toads over by the Dragonfly rides are fed, and then boss is actually giving you the day, which I never heard of that before. So good for you. You can
Yeah,
I,
for
I
sure,
don't
for
I
sure.
don't know, like enjoy the carnival or go into town. I don't know what I never had a day off. I don't know what to do with it. So do whatever you want to do, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. Okay. I'm right on it, boss.
All right, now I'm gonna be in the ticket booth. I'm gonna go get that ready. Make sure I'm ready for all of the customers coming. Do me a favor in like an hour or so before you go off for the day. Just just come by and make sure I'm awake. All right. And he begins to wander off towards the ticket booth. Despite the cane and despite the years, he does remain spry. You do know that he does sort of play it up, uh, play up the old man aspects of 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 the cane and everything.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll get to work taking care of the things that I need to take care of. That way I can, you know, get to not doing anything.
You said about filling up the small booths, and as you make your way to the Dragonfly rides, you there is you are walking over to feed the frogs, and the way was perfectly clear, but somehow you still run into a tree. And Northwind, who you all have met previously, is like, "Oh, hey, Arlen, buddy. Sorry, man. Didn't see you down there. Boss needed me to move some more trees, get the river rerouted, because man, I tell you, that feathering gondola, you know, the one that talks all the time, like." He is referring to one of the swan gondolas that swim in the river.
Mhm.
Like, man, she's been in a real bad mood ever since like Hurley left. Like, she talks to Burley, and they talk like philosophy, but man, it's just not the same without Hurley. He was like the entertainment guy, and it's just like, man, who do we talk like shows to? Oh wait, right, you can talk to your parents. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
and
I
like,
mean, do you think we need to like do something to? I don't even know, man. What would we do?
I don't know, man. Things have been weird. Like everybody leaving, and Star went missing, and like the and like I don't know. It's got to be weird being back here though for you, right, dude? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, last time I was here, I was just like a little twerp, and now, like,
I
I'm
mean,
grown. I'm a man. So,
yeah, but like you're still a little, still a little. You just
oh well. I mean, stature maybe, but I've got so much wisdom and experience now. I'm a worldly rabbit.
yeah, that's true, man. You got that. Hey, where is? Oh, there's Luro. Hey, Luro. And the orb of glowing light that you have befriended since finding them on the desert world of Athos sort of flutters up out of the water of the river that surrounds the carnival. Not wet, doesn't is not wet at all. The water just seems to part. Uh, Floats over. Good morning, Arlen. I'm glad to see you. I was just taking a bath.
Yeah, tubular man. It's not much to scrub. Well, I mean, okay.
Nonsense. One must always maintain proper hygiene, even when one is a will-o-wisp.
I mean, good on you. Shoot, I should take a bath. Later.
I mean, you could always just like jump right in the river here, man. I won't tell anyone.
Well,
Just
maybe like
don't.
after I, put this over there and like my fur just likes to get matted down.
Oh, right.
It's
Yeah,
it's an
you got
ordeal. It's an
fur.
ordeal.
Man, that's gotta be, like, weird.
No, not for me. Had it all my life.
I mean, but, like, bark, like, and he knocks on one leg with the hollow sound of wood on wood as he raps his knuckles against, his thigh. It's like, it's just simple wood, man, you know? No sweating, no I was gonna say no bugs, but, like, do gotta worry about termites, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna go move these trees. Talk to you later, dude.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Take it easy.
Is everything all right? Leroux is asking. Is everything all right, Arlen?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Just Swan chick's got a little bit down since that one guy left. But yeah, I mean, just morale is maybe not as high as it could be these days. And they were just a little concerned.
Well, I suppose we can find something maybe to cheer someone up. I do know a good story. Have I told you the one about the widow and the wolf? And I totally just stole that from City of Eyes, so we're moving on. And Leroux continues to regale you with a story. It's supposed to be. It doesn't matter what it was supposed to be. He continues to regale you with this story while you fill up the last of the small booth prizes and make your way over to the ticket booth, where as you go to knock on the back of the wagon, you see a figure you recognize seated on a large crate, probably about 10 feet from where the bridge, actually just on the other side of the bridge, over the Blue Ribbon River.
Wait a second. Is that Chessbot guy? Chessbot guy! He bounds over.
Banner is sitting cross-legged on his box, much like you probably remember him. The slight differences are both the box and the jacket look a little worse for wear, and you can't recall if these are additions or not, but he's sitting this time palms down, one on each knee, and there's a 4-finger ring on each hand, and the one on the left hand, the word brains is spelled out on it, and the one on the right hand, the word brawn is spelled out on it.
So, you've been taking it easy? I mean, I wasn't really expecting to see you. I mean, oh, not that this is the first time I've ever been back to a world, you know what I mean? So, like, how's it been?
Banner reaches into a side pouch, with one hand, pulls off the leather disc on his face that has 2 closed eyes, puts it in the pouch, replaces it with a leather disc that has 2 open eyes on it. Hello. It is, wait. I know you. You are the child. The child with the missing foot.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good, like, singular descriptor, like a one thing that, what one might remember about that whole night. Definitely one thing that's unique and different from other rabbits, for sure. Whew.
Well, it is Wonderful to see you again. Are you, wait, are you waiting for the carnival or are you, I cannot recall. Did you get a job with the carnival?
Oh, mom and pops, they're actors. They hooked up with Carnival. So
Mm.
I've been, you know, as I've been able to, started helping out around behind the scenes. Got a little uh story time of my own, taking care of lost kids, that kind of thing. Uh, got kind of a soft spot for him, I was well, I mean, I wasn't really lost, I knew where I was and like, but I just help out keeping an eye on him and that kind of thing.
Well, that is wonderful. Have you enjoyed your time working for the carnival?
It's been rad, man. Um, it's a lot of fun, I also uh making a lot of friends, that kind of thing. Man, you would not believe the stories you hear on all these different worlds,
Oh.
especially whenever like, you know, doesn't matter how long ago the story happens, you can get firsthand accounts. It's pretty dope.
Hmm. Yes, first-hand accounts of very old stories must be very rewarding. Um, have you heard any stories perhaps told to you by a gnomish fellow?
You wouldn't happen to have one of those like very unique and singular descriptors for this gnomish fellow, would you?
Well, I don't know. You may remember him. He was with me the evening that we met. I have not seen him since, and have been looking, amongst other things, in the intervening time. Gnomish gentleman, fairly old for a gnome. Like to remain clean shaven, but very bushy sideburns. Answers to Harold.
Mm, I'm sorry, man. I not that I can think of.
Hmm. Very well. Is the carnival open?
Uh, I mean, uh, I think it'll be a little bit of time before things really kick off. But uh, you know, early tickets and all that. You might as well get ready.
Yes, I learned my lesson from last time. I will be sure to purchase a ticket.
Yeah.
Might I interest you in a challenge? And
Pooh.
Banner turns both of his hands over.
I mean, I guess I could give it a go.
Very well. Make your choice. And Banner turns his hands back over again and presents both fists, one that says brains and one that says brawn, to Arlen, and then turns both hands over, open palms facing up.
Oh boy. Not really my strong suit, whichever way you go. Let's go with brains. I'm not that. You're larger than I am.
Very well. And Banner hops off his box, sets up the dragon chess pieces, and we'll proceed to play a game.
As
I am
you
curious as to what the bronze challenge is all about, but maybe we'll see it in action down the road.
as you settle in to play this game of Dragon Chess Court, you are still in your wagon in bed. It was another restless night. For the first time in years, for the first time in years, the dreams of flying came back, and you can't. You thought you had sort of over the past many years not gotten used to their absence, but at least, I mean, you're not falling over. Your balance has been regained, and you have performed many times without issue while um, while performing trapeze acts for the Big Top Extravaganza. When you have been sort of laying in bed, having woken up from the last dream for about 20 or so minutes, when there is a knock at the wagon in which you reside. You used to share this wagon with Gleam and Glister, but with both of them having gone one way or another, it is the smallest of the wagons, but excuse me, it has been yours and yours alone for the past several years. There is a rather heavy knock at the wagon door. And then a second or two later, there's another kind of heavy knock. Court, Court, I know you're in there.
I'm indecent, boss. 1 second. I go throw on a, big tent of an outfit or something. Then obnoxious. And then I go answer the door.
Standing at the door is, in his fancy suit and top hat, is Mr. Witch. Despite your years of employment, Mr. Witch rarely has sought out the performers. But
Whoa, my favorite guy. What are you doing here? To what do I owe the pleasure?
can I, I think we need to have a talk, Court.
Whoa, take me to
You,
dinner first, boss. Come on in. That was a joke.
Mhm. He walks into the wagon. He's not exceptionally tall, but this is, I mean, it has sort of magically sized to you,
Mhm. That's
and so
pretty tall
he
there.
stoops as he comes through the door, loses his hat, which gets caught on the door frame, and with a bit of a grumble, he turns around and summons it to his hand. But I think we need to have a conversation about. We need
Uh,
to have a conversation about the show. Your show, specifically tonight.
what about it?
Look, I know I was
Um,
watching, Court. I saw you freeze up last night. I know things have been weird uh, since, well, since the last time that we was here in Faerun, and
um,
I know.
when was the last time we were here?
Don't play coy with me, Court. It's
Aha, yes. Being
look.
coy.
I don't. I don't know why you've. I've tried. All right. We agreed. No nets, even though you can't catch yourself anymore. We agreed that you would use the pixie dust, which you didn't use, and the rest of the audience may not have seen you freeze, but I did. I've seen enough of your shows. I know that. I know something happened, so I think, for your own safety, I'm pulling the show tonight.
Oh, come on, boss. Don't. Oh, come on. It was just a second. It was just a second. Please, please, Mr. Witch. Please. Oh my God. Please. I will be bored to death. Oh my God.
You're welcome to work the ground. You're welcome to work the grounds. But there will be no high flying tonight.
I haven't done the grounds for, I don't know, years. I'm
Yeah, it's
rusty.
it's been Well, then you're welcome to take the day off.
I'm not good at up close. Come on, come on. I promise. I won't do it again. I promise.
I'm sorry, court. My decision is final.
Oh,
You scared a couple hands nearly half to death. I don't. It's just I can't risk them. I can't risk you. I can't have my audience seeing one of my star performers going splat.
shucks, shucks.
What was
You
that?
know that I said shucks because you star performer. You know that won't happen.
He reaches into his coat pocket, excuse me, pulls out a paper envelope which you recognize as a packet of pixie dust. I'm going to give you one chance. You're going to come to me tonight before the show. You're going to dump this shit all over you, and we're going to make sure that you're safe. If you can't do that, if you won't do that, if you can't do that, if you won't do that, well, I, I didn't want to say it, but I'll move the ash gloves up to your spot.
Yes, sir.
Just go enjoy the carnival to the dead today. Don't. I'll see you tonight. You don't have to do anything until then. Just try to get your head on court.
All
He
right.
stands up, puts his top hat on.
Hey, wait.
What?
What about that dinner? Grins and wiggles his eyebrows that are just painted on circles. All right, get out of here. Get out. Thanks
He
for coming to my
stares at
crib.
you completely nonplussed for about 10 seconds, turns, puts a hand on top of his top hat to make sure it does not get knocked off again, and exits your wagon and slams the door.
I guess I'm not getting that promotion. Gotta earn it next time. Gotcha. All right. Okay.
So,
Court will just like get properly ready after that and then kind of just sit there.
the rest of the day is, for the most part, just filled with the normal inanities of, for some, of carnival life. Helping other people set up their booths, the setting up helping everyone set up the booths, setting up the events, setting up the rides. Um, there have been some changes in the lineup of rides, events, and games here at the Witchlight. Um, and for those who are spending their time in town, there is the usual bustle of what is essentially a fort town with real, uh, no real. There's no enemy at the gates. There's no conflict going on. So there is a lot of uh, military readiness drills and things like that, but nothing that is nothing of urgency. And as Although, before I go any farther, I'm curious, how does the chess game go?
I mean, there's Arlen. There's not much chance. I'm not saying it's impossible, but what should I roll?
Yeah, you don't need to roll. I'm just asking. You can roll.
I
But,
have no proficiency. Like, I hardly even know how to play this game. So yeah, it's over pretty quickly.
Banner, you recognize that this is
I'll probably prop it up just long enough to ask questions about the lily pad chess.
Yeah, man. I mean, they scrapped that pretty quick after we left World.
No, I thought for certain that that was a bluff to get me to leave the carnival.
Oh man, I mean, if only it were. But
Well, what did they do with the little froggies?
sorry, I missed what you said there.
What about the froggies? What did they do with them?
Oh, I think they probably like released them at some point. I think. I'm not sure. They might have incorporated them into the petting zoo. I forget.
Very well. I will inquire once I purchase my ticket.
as it gets to early evening, the actual ticket booth opens just before twilight, right around 8 o'clock. What I guess for us would be 8 o'clock. I don't know the Ferunian timetable. Whatever, doesn't matter. What for us would be 8 o'clock.
They're in Central Standard Time.
Fucking Central. It is in the early evening that we once again, Hemlock, you hear the hurried sound of hoofbeats coming up the drive to Cross Hollows. An unfortunately familiar dark mahogany wagon pulls up, and somewhat uneasily, the staff opens the door, and the guest, who has still never been introduced to you, their name has never actually been given to you or to anyone that you're aware of, steps out in the into the daylight in long purple robes, this time with the same sigils that you kind of vaguely remember from every time they've come by, in gold thread work, and with the long kind of gnarled wooden staff used used to prop them up. They once again bow very deeply, look around for your parents, who are in the doorway. They have the servants flanking the entrance. You are waiting in the entry hallway as this figure once again crosses through through the threshold of your home, looks around, and with that same sort of whiny voice that doesn't just echo through the building, but echoes through your head, like they are broadcasting some sort of psychic megaphone. It's always good to be back here. I think we can finally unravel these mysteries for our mutual friend. Oh, the children. The children, you've gotten so much bigger.
I'm 5'8".
Yeah, neither of you have grown at all. This is clearly just the most pedantic simpering from this figure as your father, your tiefling father Lucian, sort of does his absolute best to just not roll his eyes. Yes, yes, yes. You were here. You were here last month. It hasn't been that long. I know that. I know that it might seem. Well, please, this way, this way. And your other parent, Valentine, dressed in a high necked a high necked purple gown, not purple, golden gown. Purple is the other guy who said that. In a high neck golden gown, her arm looped through Lucian's, steps aside, gestures broadly. Please, please, into the study. We have everything laid out. I think it's best if before we truly get to work, you can set down your things. We have a repast prepared, and then we can get to, well, we can hopefully. I think you'll be very pleased with the work that my children have done. Yarrow, especially here, has made several very important discoveries, I think. And Hemlock is absolutely convinced that some of these further sigils will be available to him. Aren't they just the most brilliant? They're just brilliant. I'm just going to start calling him the Chamberlain because I don't want to keep calling him the guest. He fixes you both with those tiny little dark eyes that seem to. They're not. I mean, they are clearly studying you on some magical level as well as just looking you up and down. And he nods his head in acquiescence, but does not otherwise begin to speak again as he pulls a dark green bag out from under his robes, opens it up, and pulls out several items, far more than could have fit into a regular bag of this size, and hands them to several of the servants, who bow and carry them into the study. You see several large, probably femur bones of some enormous beast, which are carved with sigils, which have been lined with some sort of dark metal. There is a metal stand. It's got like 3 clawed feet at the bottom, which hold an orb in which swirls a mixture of teal and sort of magenta mists dotted with silvery flecks. And there is finally there is a golden picture frame. There's no picture. There's no it. It could hold. Maybe it used to hold glass or a mirror or something, but at this point, it just looks like an empty frame. There is a stand for it that, despite the fact that there is nothing in the middle of this frame, you do get a glimpse as the servants set it on the table in the study. That like okay, I'm showing my retail roots here. For those like displays for plates, how they have it's a stand with two legs that you set the thing on, and then it leans against a taller thing in the middle. Well, despite the fact that this frame has nothing in the middle, it stops against whatever this upper post is. And nothing appears, or there's no swirling. There's just this frame that, once set down, you do every few seconds notice a a swirl of some sort of red script runs along the upper outside edge of the frame like a marquee, sort of like I think the New York Stock Exchange type thing, where it runs along the top and down one side and then back up the other side. Those items divested, all of you go into the dining room. And over the course of a few, for you, Hemlock, slightly awkward hours as this guest seems to keep staring between you and Yarrow, somewhat ignoring your parents entirely, unless directly spoken to. I am bleeding. That happened. Give me
You
one
all
second.
right?
Yeah, I cut my wrist somehow.
What
One
the
second.
hell?
Oh,
Let me get you a band-aid.
Top of my wrist. Anyway, um, Hemlock, more than once during this meal, as the meal is progressing and your parents are sort of probing your guest, trying to figure out exactly what it is he is looking for. Um, at one point, Yarrow pipes up and just I know that we're looking for the the compendium, right, Chamberlain? That's right. And for the first time, the Chamberlain's eyes go kind of wide, and he stares at Yarrow for a second, and then it's weird to smile with a beak, but he does, and it's real off-putting. And he smiles and he says, good girl, you figured it out. I wondered which one of you two children would be the one to unlock it. Yes. We have found, if all is to be believed, everything we need save one thing which I believe your parents have acquired for us. If all goes well, the Compendium Maleficarum will be in our possession. And you immediately, your eyes snap over to Valentine, who has a look of pure delight on their face. Just eyes wide, this massive smile sitting up as straight as you have ever seen them. You would almost think that they have added a few inches to their height at this moment. The compendium, you say? Yarrow, dear, why didn't you say anything? And she says, well, I wasn't entirely sure until our guest here confirmed it just now, but there were some hints in the sigils that we translated, and Yarrow looks over to you, Hemlock.
uh, 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 well, there was some note of odd materials used in the creation of the artifact, but had not perhaps seen. He grabs a glass of wine and starts to drink.
Well then, shall we do the study, or are we still eating?
Hemlock is not eaten at all.
Um, Hemlock, oddly for you, The only thing that really catches the only thing out of this entire meal that you can really smell, and for just a weird moment, it is like your stomach almost aches, like you start to drool a little bit. The smell of the roast that is brought out for a moment, just that is almost intoxicating, and then it's gone. It it's just a single moment where that is all you can focus on. And Valentine looks, "Oh, but Hemlock dear, you haven't eaten anything. I mean, I understand the excitement. If you'd rather we get this onwards, then we can do that, but you really should eat, my dear."
Uh, um, yes. um, uh, he forces himself to eat something. Probably some of, like, if that desire was so all consuming, he'll pursue the roast.
You you put some on your plate and you start to bring it up to eat, but by the time it gets there, it's just nauseating. The thought of eating this is that it's not stopping. The thought of eating this is just nauseating to you, and you set it aside, and Valentine looks at you. It's the excitement, dear. I understand. I understand. Why don't we all go into the study?"
Yes. I'll find my appetite later. Sorry, my apologies.
You all adjourn to the study. The items which the Chamberlain brought are sitting on a low table in the middle of the room. There is a excuse me. There is the three items you saw him bring, as well as the um, that that scratch of hide that he brought the last time. Well, the first time that you saw him 8 years ago, and with with sort of a cold and calculating look, he opens his hands wide and gestures to all the items. "So, children, you think you've solved this? Why, perhaps you should show us what it is we do. Perhaps you can prepare this, and we will prepare the final piece." And with a loud kdunk, the doors to the study are closed. All of the servants are outside, and there is a brief look shared between uh, Lucian and Valentine, and with a few utterances in in the dark abyssal language. Um, a section of the of one of the bookshelves adjacent to the fireplace slides away, and there is a small chamber beyond, a stone room behind this bookshelf with a large stone table in the center, which to which is currently strapped a human figure, a human man, young, mid-20s or so, and completely unconscious. Yarrow looks at you, Hemlock. Do do you want to start, or do you want me to?
um, I will. I will let you start.
With kind of shaky hands, like she's not fully sure what she's doing. She begins to manipulate some of the items. The hide um, that was first brought is placed over the frame, the golden frame, so that it forms sort of like a canvas.
So the objects that like the object that remains is the orb, right?
Yeah, the orb, and then the two sets of bones, or
Right.
excuse me, the set of two bones remain on the table.
Hmm.
She looks over at the Chamberlain, who sort of nods, and then she picks up the bones. She picks up the bones and lays them on the table to set the frame on it, and there is a some sort of magical discharge, and she pulls her hands back very rapidly, and the Chamberlain laughs a very cold, it's just it's the it's clear he's enjoying watching this. He knows the two of you are probably not sure exactly what you're doing, and so is just watching. Careful, careful. If you do it wrong, it might be you that ends up on that table. He says that, and Lucian looks over at him with a look that is flipping back and forth between daggers and utter confusion.
I put hands on Yarrow's wrists and sort of like silently ask her to withdraw. And the I rearrange the bones so that they cross over the canvas, the hide, and the frame, and the cross is XY's set at the top of the frame, and rest the orb in the crook of the crossed bones on top of the canvas, and very carefully flick the orb so that it begins to spin in its place.
The mist inside the orb swirls. The flecks sort of the colorful flecks inside the mist form themselves into a little sphere of gold within. There is a sudden snap as a similar magical discharge. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. It's just it's loud and startling. And once again, the Chamberlain laughs his cold and sort of callous laugh. Forgive me, children. I've played a horrible prank on you. This can't be done until our latest guest has played their part. And he reaches into another of his pockets and produces a blade about 8 or so inches long, waving back and forth with a large diamond set in the pommel. And as he does, Lucian looks at you both and says, "No, no, no. We will. The children will not be here for this. We can reconvene. Chamberlain, you promised you would be on good behavior." And with a couple sort of calming, he puts his hand on Yarrow's shoulder and puts one hand on your shoulder and starts to lead you from the room.
I obey, and I silently encourage Yarrow also to follow.
Yes, Hemlock. She's whispering very quietly as Lucian guides you out. Oh, all right, children. You don't. I'm sorry. I urged that you should not be included in this, but well, I'll tell you what. That the word is that Carnival is back in town. You had fun the last time you were there. A few hours. Oh yeah, he delivers that with absolutely an uneven voice, knowing, and just says, to you both, a few hours, and this will be resolved. Just a few hours. I'm sure everything will be fine. Um, we will have to go into the oubliette, but you can wait here, or you can leave the house. Just be safe. You know that.
I will be back to help ensure in the morning. And I'm going to lead Yarrow away.
Yarrow follows you somewhat quietly and then breaks off and goes up to her room, leaving you alone in the hall of the house. Okay, give me. I'm gonna. And it's a little early. I gotta put something on this because it's not stopping. So give me like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, Dad.
Yeah, it's a tiny thing. It's like a needle point stab, but for some
What
reason
the
it just won't
hell?
stop. I don't know. I'll be right back.
Oh God.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Um. Did anyone step away? I'm sorry.
I think we're still all here. Ollie?
All right. Sounds like we'll give Oliver a little time.
Yeah. I don't even know what the fuck I did.
Were you attempting to juggle knitting needles at any point this evening and accidentally like slipped up with one of them? Because I mean, that's certainly the type of activity that could easily slip one's mind.
It might be a bite, like an insect bite or something that just because
Yeah.
my hand is on fire. I mean, that might be me having like been pressing on it for the last 20 minutes, but
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a good guess.
oh, so I got a text from my trainer this morning, and they have decided to sell their farm.
Oh boy.
So I have until the end of the month to move Saint.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
That
that thing
feels
that
like
I've
not a lot of time.
no, I mean, yes and no. Like I have 30 days to move her, but it's like that thing that I've been saying I'm going to do for like I don't know, maybe close to a year now. Like
Right.
I just find it funny. I think the accident with her husband probably like had a hand in them deciding to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you guys about that. I don't remember.
If you did, I don't recall it.
I don't think you did, but you said
Oh.
accident with her husband, and the answer was immediately, that sounds like a good
Yeah.
reason to sell a farm.
I completely concur.
Well, the accident was not at the farm. They were at a road. You know what? Before I tell this story, I'm going to preface this with everyone is fine. There is no damage. Well, there is no lasting damage. Like there is no permanent injury at all.
Oh boy.
They were at a rodeo, and they compete in roping, like cattle roping. And while her husband Sam was riding, the calf went under his horse and freaked out his horse. So his horse bolted with him in the saddle. He's an experienced rider, stayed in, but when the horse went to turn around, it fell, and he got thrown out of the saddle, and he crashed into one of the panel fences that make up the roping arena. The panel fences are not. It's not a rigid fence. It has give for exactly this reason, because he went into it face first, on one side of his face, and ended up on the ground, perfectly fine, conscious, everything, until his horse, while it was getting up, kicked him in like square in the side of the head. sounds horrible, sounds dangerous, and he did require 30 staples to keep his scalp together, but there was no concussion, no fracture of the skull, no anything. He never even lost consciousness. And my trainer was hilarious telling the story because she was like, I'm panicking because I'm thinking he just got kicked, like he's dead. Like, this is what I'm thinking. And she's like, I get to him and he spits out blood and I start freaking out. And he looked at me and he said, will you shut the fuck up? I bit my tongue. And she's like, that's the moment that I was just like, okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. He got up, he walked off, like he got the staples, no concussion, no fracture, no anything. He's perfectly fine.
Oh my God.
Which is an amazing story for getting kicked in the head by a horse. But I'm guessing that and I didn't realize they had been running this business for 10 years, which has got to be exhausting. So,
well, I mean, it strikes me as the exact type of business that one would want to run if your goal is to kill your love of horses.
It does,
because,
yeah.
Like the amount of work you've got to do, just constantly for horses that aren't yours, right? And you're doing it to make money. It's like, oh God. Yeah. And I mean, the amount of like physical risk and then just risk from, God forbid, something goes wrong with a horse that's not yours. Like, but I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So, and they're not much. I think they're a little bit younger than I am. So like, having been doing that for 10 years, it's like, yeah, we want to take it easy now because. So.
Hey, Mac.
Heyo.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Oh my god, I knew I recognized that name when you were
What?
talking about Armin Shimmerman Day. I finally placed it.
Do you actually watch the Deep Space Nine credits? I always skip them. They go on for 10 years.
No, but I mean, like he's in the opening credit, the opening crawl, which I always listen to the theme because
Yeah,
No, that's what I'm
can't-
talking about. It goes
can't
on for
skip-
10 million years.
I
and
thought you
they're
meant
a
the ending credits.
fantastic 10 million years.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
two are
love
so
the
much
Star Trek
stronger
theme.
than I could ever be. The Deep Space Nine opening goes on for, oh my god,
It does.
eons.
It does feel like a long time, and the music is slower than the other credits and stuff.
I hate to
Mhm.
say it, it's also just not as interesting because like all the others have
No, nothing's
whatever ship
happening.
going. Yeah, the others have the ship going over like planets and nebulas and supernovas and this cool space feature, and then you get Deep Space Nine. And it's like, no, this is
No,
a
like
space
How many
station.
different angles
literally
do we
nothing
shoot
is happening.
Still station. Oh, the wormhole opens and it's closed again.
And we're
Yeah,
done.
I've never in my
The
life.
wormhole doesn't feature till the last like 3 seconds of the
I
opening.
don't think I. Okay, sorry. We're playing D&D. I forgot.
I mean, I was in that conversation. I want to hear what you had to say.
Just like I think I've only watched it all the way through once, maybe.
I've
Okay.
never skipped an intro.
You're so powerful.
All right, we are back. Thank you, Craig, for the 10-minute mark. Actually, that's pretty close. Cross Hollow.
Our break's only
What?
10 minutes?
I
No.
don't know. I
Is
mean,
that
that
why
one
I'm
was
being
supposed to be.
late?
But no, you're not late. You're fine. I got
Okay.
back early because I think I said 10 minutes, and then I literally just ran into the next room to get a Band-Aid.
Oh, I just
So.
assumed it was 15. I'm so sorry, King. Okay.
You're fine. You're fine. It's fine.
Mwah.
Everything's good. Mwah. Yeah, Max is right. It usually is 15 minutes. I was just in a hurry, so I didn't know what I was saying. Anyway, we are back. Craig, you can get rid of everything I said between now and when I last said your name. Just cut all that.
Craig, keep it. I got a kiss from Ted.
Okay, you can keep that part, get rid of everything else. Okay, anyway. Yarrow has gone up to her room. The sounds coming out of the study cease the moment the door closes. There is just the silence and sort of regular sounds of the servants moving around the rest of the estate.
There is several moments of standing out in the passageway, and thinking and hemming and hawing and clenching, unclenching jaws and fist, and finally just stealing himself so entirely. And you said study just now, but did you mean like the is that the room that you meant?
Yeah. So there is the room off the study where you saw this individual waiting to be how to put this nicely, used in the ritual, air quotes. But between you and that particular room is the study where the various relics have been laid out. Before the study closed, you could hear some sort of ritual chanting coming from the oubliette beyond the study. But then that goes silent, and then the study door closes, and there is nothing going on.
Okay. Once he's got his nerves, Hemlock goes back into the study as quietly as he can manage.
As you sort of peer through the crack between the doors, the bookshelf has has slid back into place, hiding this chamber from the rest of the study. The the study itself is empty. The objects remain on the table in the state that you and your sister left them. There are a couple discarded uh, uh, wine glasses scattered throughout the room, but everything is quiet.
Being so very, very careful as to only step on rugged areas of the floor, tail just flicking back and forth and anxiously. Hemlock begins very silently and quietly, like gazing at the bookshelves before coming to the desk, and opening a drawer in that desk, um, and laying underneath an embroidered cloth is a not insubstantial book, with the embossed title, The Gravewalker's Manual, which he lifts from its place and stows into his coat. And then he very calmly walks out of the study, calmly walks down the passageway, and then runs out of the estate. And as soon as he hits the streets, he continues to run.
By the time you reach the edge of Flame, your breath is coming just absolutely ragged. You have run yourself nearly to exhaustion, as the last of the sunlight begins to drop behind the western shore of the Moonsea. You see the lights of the Witchlight Carnival in the distance outside the gate, in the same place that it was 8 years ago, and a large, steadily moving line of people. Let me rephrase that: a large, steadily moving group of people beginning to form a line behind a certain very large and passingly familiar figure in a red and black jacket with a Morian helmet.
I very quickly prestidigitate the sweat off of me because I don't run.
Banner, as the lights in the ticket booth come on and the opening, what is that called? Shade. The shade goes up. The shape of Nicholas Midnight, the Goblin, in his little tux with his hat. He is holding a small spyglass up to one eye as he peers out across the bridge to where you all have formed the line, and he pulls a lever within the ticket booth, and the shape of, or the statue on the top of the ticket booth of a little a fairy figure with their hands upright suddenly begins to spin in place, startling a group of butterflies, which sort of take off and flutter around the top of the ticket booth. Their wings glow a strange color in the last rays of the setting sunlight, as he loudly proclaims, the Witchlight Carnival is open. Please have your coins ready. An adult ticket is 8 silver pieces. A child's ticket is 3 silver pieces. Each ticket is 8 punches. Punches are needed for rides. There will be absolutely no admittance. without tickets. And as he says the last part, he stares directly at you, Banner. Um, and there is a bit of a cheer from a lot of the people in line behind you, and they sort of push against you to get the line moving. And Nicholas puts the spyglass up to his eye, and he peers around. Do we even have a crowd out there? I didn't see anybody. There was no cheering. And from under the desk, he pulls up an ear horn, puts it to his ear, and says, I said the carnival is now open. And there's an even louder cheer from behind you as the people are somewhat amused by this elderly goblin.
Arlen just he's nearby. He comes over and he just leaps up on top of the ticket booth and sits down and watches everybody.
Oh, holy shit! What the? I mean, step up, kids. Don't repeat anything Uncle Nicky says. Okay. All right, good. Come on,
Banner.
tickets are open.
Banner approaches the ticket booth and holds out a single gold piece and slides it across the counter or under the ticket slide or whatever the circumstance in that booth may be.
It's just an open, think like a food cart. It's just an open.
Great. You just slide it across the counter. The two open eyes in his leather mask staring daggers at this goblin.
He seems absolutely nonplussed as he slides 2 silver pieces and 2 tickets across to you. 8 silver. Ticket management has comped you a free ticket for the trouble last time.
Here's an extra ticket for your missing and presumed dead friend.
Isn't that wonderful? Where do I find the frogs from the lily pad chess?
Oh, well, we repurposed the lily pads for the dragonfly rides. So, like, if you head to the dragonfly rides, or if you go to the gondola swans at the far back of the, you know what? Here, let me give you a map. And he produces a colorful map, unfolds it, and sets it on the counter in front of you. If you and you should all see it now. If you head back to the gondola swans, the frogs, they live in the river now. I know they were anyway. Next person, please. 8 silver a ticket, or 3 silver a child's ticket, or if you do not have the coin, then just let me know. We can make a deal. We can always bought it. You have another question? I'm sorry.
There's one last thing, and I'll spin the map around. Can you show me where you took Harold 8 years ago?
Oh, I took him to the staff area. I'm afraid you're not allowed back there.
I am.
Nicholas looks up at the top of his wagon. Arlen, is that
Arlen,
get off
like,
one.
Ducks his head down and his ears like flop down, hanging upside down.
Would you like to ride on the crate again?
I would say I'm a little too big, but I am not much bigger than I was. And he'll hop over onto the crate.
Very well. Where to first? Dragonfly ride, gondola swans, or the staff area?
I mean, it's up to you. I live here, boss.
Let's go check on some froggies. And I will head to gondola swans.
I was hoping you'd say that.
The line moves actually fairly rapidly. Most of the people have their coins out. And you, Hemlock, you are still there, so you hear a couple people who are making barters for tickets. Nick seems to be fairly amused by many offers, and some people walk off um, wearing either like a crown of flowers that is stuck to their head, and by stuck to I mean growing out of their head, or you see another person who does a little dance for about 15-20 seconds, to much laughter from everybody in line and from Nick the Goblin, who wipes away a few tears of laughter as he pushes a ticket and a map. Uh, oh, and a set of butterfly wings, which Banner would have been on the counter for you.
Mhm.
You do gotta wear them. That's how we know people have tickets. Or you gotta carry them at least.
Hmm.
And so he sets them on the crate.
Yeah, Banner will grab them, and seeing as how he's wearing the crate on his back, he will put the butterfly wings on facing forward.
Court.
Mm.
You you have had most of the day. You've wandered around, sort of as the various hands have sort of have waved at you and greeted you, and the stall barkers. You've watched them set up and get ready for the throng of the crowd as tickets go on sale. You hear the steady um, creaking footprints of Northwind the Treant, making his way over to the ticket booth, as the carnival is this is just before it opens. He says, "Oh, hey, Court. Like, I hear you're grounded, dude. Like, what's up?"
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Just
"Oh,
kidding.
okay."
I'll talk to you about anything. Come here. And
He
Court like hops up on his branches.
Yeah, I say he bends down and puts his head practically to the ground so that you can climb up into his so that you can climb up into his air quotes hair branches. I gotta go do the welcome gifts. You want to like come along?
Sure thing, bud. He'll just kind of swing around in there and do a little trick in the branches.
Hey, do me a favor. Like, there's a couple bags of seeds up there. Like, when we get there, just throw those down at everybody.
Hey, what's wrong, buddy?
Can you do that? Like, is
I
that
don't
cool?
know. Sounds pretty tough.
Really, man. I'm just like,
No, of course I can do that. Sounds like
okay,
fun.
I got it. You're pulling my roots. I got it. I got it. Oh man.
Yeah. Can I help
All
myself?
right. And Banner uh right as you cross through you've right as you've purchased your ticket and sort of taken a couple steps away from the ticket booth, you hear this loud thump, thump, thump as Northwind the young treant um comes walking up to the gates of the Witchlight Carnival, and there is a sort of loud explosion as a few of the carnival tents uh, blow their tops in a shower of sparks and uh, basically pyrotechnics, firework displays.
Arlen, quick, get down. We are under attack.
Arlen hops down.
I'd sort of put an arm around Arlen's shoulder in a protective manner, and am looking around, seeing if anything's coming at me, because the loud noises and the sparks and this
Jesus.
large figure that presumably I have not seen the likes of before have me a bit confused.
As he approaches the ticket booth, there is cheering from all of the crowd, and especially a lot of the children run forward as emerald clouds swirl above the trees and rain down golden spinning sycamore seeds. Fairgoers try to catch the seeds before they hit the ground, and there is a squirrel about 1.5 feet running along, handing out dandelions to some of the fairgoers. And for simplicity's sake, Hemlock, you have made it through the ticket booth. Those who would like to catch sycamore seeds may, and you are each handed a small dandelion by this squirrel running around.
I see, Arlen. This is part of the pageantry to perhaps increase the sense of magic one may feel when entering the carnival.
Oh yeah, I mean we're all about pageantry around here, you know, showman's showmanness and stuff.
Well, yes, perhaps Arad was correct in at least attempting to sign us on with the carnival. My attempts at running my little money-making program were not nearly as successful without Arad and without his similar flair for pageantry.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, you know, pageantry's half the game, and then, you know, half of the other half is also pageantry.
Yes, so I have heard in a similar fashion, 90% of the game is half pageantry.
Yeah, well. Whew. So you haven't heard anything about what happened to Banner? Or your Banner? Harold?
No, I have heard not a word. I have spent the intervening time searching the areas surrounding the Moon Sea in an attempt to find any information that anyone who has seen or heard anything of my good friend Mr. Babel Peach, but not a thing. So I am back here at the carnival, the last place that I have seen him. And hopefully to find out where he has gone, or what he has done, or what has befallen him, as unlikely as that may be. I cannot imagine that anyone would be able to get the better of Arald, but and as has been our custom, he has always been free to leave at any time, as have I, but I am just too curious to let it go. So hopefully, after 8 years, I will find some answers now that I have am able to return.
Allah, I mean, well, I'm happy to help. You know, lost things are kind of part of my job around here, but you know, I mean, there's a pretty good chance he's probably not, you know, like, and he draws like a finger across the neck. After the whole, you know, ghost girl and, you know, the foot loss you know. And he kind of like glances down at his left foot that is just like uh just above like the ankle. Well, you know, I don't know, fetlock or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, like starting on down. He's wearing pants that like end just like below the knee, but you see, like where the foot would be, it's just like wound with like cloth. But you can kind of see like, in the spots where the cloth doesn't cover, no fur there. Um, I, you know, kind of had uh my own search, I guess, but more in a different nature. Um, I was pretty convinced that whatever it was that happened was some kind of like, spirit or ghost, and so, I've gotten pretty good at, communicating with, those who have passed, and I haven't heard anything from your friend, so there's a rocking chance he's probably still kicking.
That is the most information, quite frankly, I have received in 8 years. But your foot, it was not a mere illusion.
I mean, if it is, it's a damn good one. Uh, I mean, every now and then, whenever I'm like, bathing, I'll feel like my fingers are about to pass through, but it's solid enough to walk on. It's hard to describe. It's like it's there, but it's not there. Um,
Hmm. I do
it's
not
like
know that
it's
I
like the
have.
ghost like took my foot and gave me a ghost foot.
I have never before heard of such a thing as a ghost foot. But you seem to be getting around quite well, and have apparently learned new skills to talk to these spirits. I hope that you are able to someday find your foot or find what has happened to it. But until that day, I hope that you continue to get along as well as it seems you have thus far.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that it's even missing, but it's
Well, what do you say that you and I forget about that for this brief moment and go check on the little froggies, or not so little froggies, if I remember correctly.
yeah, I'm sure they're, hopping somewhere.
Dudes, the seeds are almost done. If you're gonna try to catch one, like this is your moment. And the little squirrel that is running around leaps up onto the box that, or the crate that you have. Banner runs onto your shoulder and holds a dandelion in front of your face, and just make a wish, make a wish, make a wish, blow down, make a wish.
Well, I would like to know what happened to Harold. And
Well, no, you gotta keep it secret. Can't say. Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. Shh.
yes, I will keep it quiet. And Banner leans forward as if he was going to blow on this thing, and that's all that happens, is him leaning forward.
He does the same. The rabbit, not rabbit. The squirrel looks at you all, or looks at Banner for a minute. Yeah, and then just jumps down and hands Arlen a dandelion. Runs over, and each of you receive a dandelion.
Wonderful.
Those of you who make wishes, whisper them to me at some point. You got time.
I should try and catch one of these seeds, yes?
Yeah, dude. Go ahead. It's good times. Anyone who wants to catch a seed makes a DC 10 dexterity.
Ooh, got him coming. Come on.
I like good times as much as the next person.
Ah.
Oh, wait. Hemlock, is that you?
Hello, you're back. You're back. How are you?
Yes. I'm, well, I guess. As you know, I have been looking for my friend, and with no luck, I thought I would return to the last place that I had seen him, now that it is back to be seen.
Oh, yes, that makes good sense. Any luck then for you?
Not yet, but look, I have encountered Arlen. Do you remember him from the last time we were here?
Immediately, his gaze goes down to your leg. Yes, I do. Odd to see you here, I suppose. And how have you been? Arlen, you said?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've just been just dandy, just pretty good.
I see you seem to be moving all right, considering.
Yeah, every now and then I lose my footing a little bit, but nothing too terrible. No major strokes of bad luck, you know what I mean?
Well, no more, and you should say.
Yeah.
I suppose, you two, would you be terribly bothered if I were to, accompany you for a while? Um, I'm here on my own, by chance, and well, it would be nice to have a friendly face around.
Say no more. It would be a pleasure to have your company.
Thank you. And, well, yes, how would you like to, I suppose, occupy your time?
Well, Arlen and I were going to check out the area where the gondola swans are. I have been informed that the frogs that have retired from the lily pad chess are over there. I would like to check on their well-being.
Oh, they got rid of the lily patches. Oh, how
Terrible, I know.
cruel.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, truly. Yes, let's that way.
Very well. As we are walking over there, Hemlock will, or I'm sorry, Banner will reach into a little pouch and unfold it and pull out a small tobacco leaf and some tobacco that he'll crumple up in his hands, and he will start rolling a little cigarillo.
Ooh.
Hemlock is going to observe this because what are you going to do with it next?
He, as they're walking, and Banner rolls it up and reaches down to his water skin, which he puts a little water on his forefinger so that he can moisten the edge of this tobacco leaf so that he can roll it up. And then puts it between his two fingers, holds it up to his mouth, holds a light up to it, right? And he holds it there for an insanely long time because there is no inhalation going on.
Would you like some help?
Oh, well, no, really, this is just one of many affectations that Harold trained me in. He said it makes
Make it look cool.
makes other people more comfortable when I engage in more humanoid activities. And this one takes approximately 2.5 minutes to roll, another 5.5 minutes to smoke.
Ah,
Would you care for one?
well, I suppose, seeing as all they're just going to burn anyway, right?
They really don't burn at all. And he reaches into his pouch and pulls out a rolled cigarillo that clearly, like, the very first part of it has burned, but it hasn't been smoked at all.
Arlen will just say, "Yeah, I gotta say, it looks dope as hell." And he's like minor illusioned a like cigarette on the end of like one of those long cigarette holders.
Nice. Oh, that is delightful. I wonder if perhaps I should get myself a long stick to put this on.
See, you gotta play to the customer. Sometimes some people see that and they think it's a little pretentious, but others are, less stuck up.
Now, see, this is wonderful. These are the types of lessons that Harold would teach me and that I could still use to learn. I am not the best at attracting the customer.
Well, stick with me and we'll do just fine.
Wonderful.
Of course, most of my audience are children, but they've got big imaginations. They're a great bunch.
As you all are headed over to the Gondola Swans, Northwind turns his head a full 90 degrees to the side to look at you, Court. Hey, isn't that the group from last time? Like, weren't you with them?
What do you mean last time?
Yeah, like, the thing that's got you like grounded today. I mean,
What about it? That was a
I'm
long time ago, bud.
I'm gonna be straight with you, Court. Like, everybody's talking about it here. Like, everybody. And I feel
Why?
bad because, like, last
Why are
last
they
time,
talking about it?
because like last time you were up in my branches, like, yeah, this is
What are you
actually
talking
a
about?
little
I
weird.
come up here all the time.
No, can you like can you like get out? This is weird now.
What?
I
What's
mean,
wrong?
like, it's a little weird for me, dude. Not gonna lie. Like, besides, you're not supposed to be up here. Like, you're
I was
supposed to.
here.
You're not. No, you were. Yeah, that's my bad, man.
I was
That's
here
my
like
bad. Like,
last week. What's wrong?
you're not supposed to be working. Like, I shouldn't have let you like help with the seeds and stuff because like I
That's
can get
not.
in trouble.
I'm just not supposed to be working the big top. I'm fine here.
But no, you're not supposed to be working at all, dude. You're
What are you talking about? Boss said
that's
I could work the floor just fine.
what? No, that's not what boss told us. You're not supposed to be working. Like, maybe you'll do the big top later. If you use the dot. Look, like I said, people are
He told
talking.
me I could work the grounds. Why are people talking?
Cause
'Cause what?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Take the day. Like, go see.
Heck, man, I can't hang out with you. I was up here like last week.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
the
yeah,
deal?
yeah. What? Cause like I gotta go do stuff. Like,
Can't fucking come?
I mean, I gotta go work. I gotta go run the dragonfly rides and stuff. So like, now that this is done, like,
Why are
I
people
gotta.
talking? I've been in my wagon all day. Why are you acting so weird?
Cause like it's the first time we're back here since last time. Like,
Where
with
where are we?
we're in Faerun, dude. Like,
Oh, cool. Cool. What why are you looking at me like that?
can you get out of my hair, please?
Bend over.
I will bend down.
Oh God, so dramatic. Okay.
he he kneels down, then realizes that that's still pretty high up. So he bends down even more, so that you can hop onto the ground.
I handspring on down.
So you didn't need me to get down on the ground, did you? You suck, dude. No, I'm just kidding. You're awesome, actually. Go hang out with
What
those
is
dudes.
with you today? God.
I'm a teenager, man. And he wanders off to the Dragonfly rides.
I'll kind of look around, see where he was pointing when he mentioned that, and kind of go off in that direction where I think the group is headed.
He pointed towards the gondola swans, and you actually did hear Banner mention that. Which, when you all arrive at the gondola swans, and by you all, I'm Hemlock, Banner, and Arlen, you arrive first. There are enormous swans gliding through the water that encircle the Witchlight Carnival, each one pulling a gondola draped in flowers. The swans disappear into banks of silver mist as they wend their way down the river. And one of these one of the large boats is at the end of the pier. There is no one here to there is no other hand here working. And as you get to the end of the 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 close end of the jetty, the swan turns its beak to look at you, bows her head, and says, "Well, hello. I am Featherine. I, for one punch of your Witchlight ticket, can take you along this river that encircles the carnival. It's a lovely, lovely trip. We can have a lovely conversation. It will just be a one punch, and I will need your tickets."
Could you give me her name again, please?
Featherine.
Featherine. And is this the same swan that Northwind had mentioned earlier?
It is, yes.
Hey, Featherine, it's good to see you. I don't have a ticket, as I'm sure you could gather. You mind if I tag along for this ride?
You're a hand. You get to ride for free.
Hemlock,
Tickets.
what do you think? It seemed like it would be a lovely way to get a general overview of the entire carnival.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed. Yes. Yes. Actually, and he'll start moving around in his coat pocket to find the ticket.
With slightly startling accuracy, the head of this swan darts out and clamps down on your ticket. Swans have teeth, which is really creepy. And with a quick bite, one of the 8 punches of each of your tickets is snapped out. Climb on, climb on.
Very well.
Court, I see you lurking there.
What'd you say? Court's far away, but coming closer.
I can hold 8. Let's go. 8 people.
And I'm coming. What'd you say? All right, Featherine. What'd you say?
Get in the
Sorry.
boat.
I'm catching up. I'm here. I'm here. What's up? Oh, okay.
She looks a little, she gives you a very exasperated look.
I wink at her and then jump on in.
Everybody in, keep your hands and feet inside the vessel. There are giant toads in the river. Please do not feed them. They will try to eat you. Just joking. Of course they won't try. If you're small enough, they'll succeed. And she she begins to swim very, very smoothly down the river.
Featherine, this is very important. Are the toads attempting and in some cases succeeding in eating small children or small adults because they are unhappy about the lack of chess in their lives?
Oh, hey, little cheese. Good to see you, bud.
That name never gets old.
I would hope not. I call you by it regularly. You're legally obligated to tell me if it does.
Nah, it's actually kind of endearing. Hey, kind of got the whole band back together in a sorts.
The
Well,
what?
except for your Sibra, the other one that is like you, kind of sister. And he points over at Hemlock.
What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, we've all, seen each other before at the same time before, back when, you know.
Oh,
Court is just kind of blinking at you, and then looks over at Hemlock.
I no, no, my sister will. He looks over his shoulder like a few times. My sister will not be joining us.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fine.
Is everything okay, Hemlock?
I remember you. Howdy. What was the name again?
I am
Chess.
Banner. You
Chess Banner. Yes.
Chester.
Yes, you if I remember correctly, you had some difficulty with your balance last time I was here.
Oh. Okay.
Seems like that has resolved itself, yes?
Yeah. What was the last time you were here? It was, gosh, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Well, it was. It was 8 years ago.
Like to the date?
Oh, yes.
To the date.
Oh, did you all meet the last time we were in Faerun? The swan that is pulling your gondola has clearly taken an interest in your conversation.
Court is like looking between Banner and Hemlock. Seriously?
Yes, briefly. I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Court. You got to remember, like, I
We
was
didn't-
wandering around and there was another kid, and you, were worried that we were going to get lost, and,
8 years is a while, but I have a lot of carnivals.
that's valid. That's a good point.
Oh,
Yes,
give me a minute.
I imagine much easier for Hemlock and I to recall than for the two of you working here on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, it was my first night here, so,
Oh, little cheat, your first night. Now I remember. I remember that. I remember that part.
Yeah.
Wow. No way. Oh, I do. That's crazy. I do remember you. What was the name? You were tiny. He's pointing at Hemlock.
Hemlock, firstborn. He extends a
Hemlock.
hand.
Court shakes it emphatically. Good to see you again. Good to see you.
Ah, you were
Yes,
looking.
likewise.
You were looking for your friend, who I had seen but could not speak. And Hemlock, did you not see them as well?
I did not. My sister had.
Hmm.
Whoa, oh. Yeah, that was crazy. That was bug wild, wasn't it, gang?
Yes. Whatever happened? Did you find your friend?
Nope.
Oh, that is a shame.
Oh, that
I
was
am
a weird night.
Very sorry.
Yeah, y'all look very somber.
Oh, well, it was an odd night, but it is good to be back. And he drums his hands on his knees.
Anything I can do for you, bud? seem tense. Do you not like the water?
Oh, water's fine. I mean, we live near the sea. No, it's I'm just generally, I've been called a nervous fellow.
Oh,
Um,
nothing wrong with that. You know what it is? I bet it's this. You pull the flower out from behind your ear. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
You're
It is
cured. You're cured.
uh, y- yes, that probably was exactly it. Thank you.
That's just a goo. Not to, you know.
I, yeah, I, truth is, I don't often go about unescorted, and it is an unusual feeling. Um, that is all.
Oh, I see. I see. Deep breath. That'll be all right, bud.
Thank you.
Pulls out another flower from
Uh,
behind your other ear.
he takes them both and like threads them through the buttonholes of his lapel.
If it would make you feel more comfortable, I can certainly keep an eye out for you and on you, so that you feel a little more comfortable, so that you do not have to feel that you're out all on your own.
You know that actually would do. That would do. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
It will be my pleasure. And Banner tips the leather circle that has his eyes and nose on it.
Banner, your hat looks a little crooked. Let me just straighten that for you. And he'll reach up and kind of like adjust, and then like lift it up. Oh, there's something in it, and he pulls out a rabbit. But the rabbit is very still. And then a moment later, it
Oh my
disappears.
God.
God, I haven't figured out how to get them to move yet. They just kind of look. Oh, I gotta
Well,
work on that.
I will
Dead?
tell you, Alan, the most impressive part of that trick is that I am not wearing a hat.
Then what did I pick up off your head?
That is a mystery that perhaps we will have to investigate
Oh,
further.
I got you guys. I put a hat there.
This one is very tricky, very if I may say so, your skills as a magician are rather impressive.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Is that what you do? Are you a performing arcanist?
Little cheese or?
Sorry, he's looking at you.
Oh no, you do a bit of everything. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm sure little cheese here will get better at magic before I ever will. He's got that rabbit thing going. It's gonna go great. I just, a little bit here, a little bit of there. Love to general entertain and goof and
Mm.
woo.
He then looks at Arlen somewhat expectantly.
I mean, I wouldn't really call myself, like an arcanist or anything like that. There's just, there's power to stories. And
Oh, that's right. You run the storytelling. You do the puppets. Those are delightful.
yeah, I scared the piss out of some kids the other day with my rendition of the Three Little Pigs and the dragon that came to eat them.
Oh, that's true. This one does love the macabre, if I recall correctly.
Oh, really? Fascinating. And do you ordinarily tell children stories to frighten them?
Well, I mean, the goal is not to frighten them, but death is a realistic part of life, and you know, spirits are out there, and
Yes,
uh,
yes.
it, better to expose them early. That way, they don't
found those terrible fears that other folk, wind up with.
Agreed. I grew up in a funeral home, and it did wonders for the understanding of the cycle of life for me and my sister.
Yeah, and look at how well adjusted you turned out.
He just kind
See,
of blinks.
Real spooky bunch. I love it.
yeah, I had this alphabet song that I used to do, and basically, like, I don't really want to like get into it too much, but it was like in the form of like a list of obituaries, like uh uh cause of death alphabetically. It
And
was a great song. It was really good, but
and-
um there was
Perhaps
one
not a
time
hit with the kids.
the kids were eating it up, honestly, except for the few that cried a little bit. But you see, some parents came and like found their kid and like heard the tail end of it, and apparently there were some complaints to management, and that song was not really allowed anymore.
Well, given time, I personally would be very interested in hearing this.
Yeah. Capitalist putting its foot on the neck of the artist. It is foolish. We will all be in the ground soon enough.
Oh, y'all are really
Right.
into that.
This is a rather morbid conversation for
Yeah.
sailing down. Look at this beautiful river. Look at you. We're passing all the rides, and
Oh,
all of you are speaking. This is horrible. And she
It's
begins to rock the gondola.
well,
It's
no,
not horrible.
it-
Hey,
I
it's
believe we firmly
beautiful.
established that it is just a natural part of.
Uh, I need
Stop
everybody to
it.
make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, I hate these fucking frogs.
Leave the frogs out of this.
Where the fuck is my character sheet? I accidentally closed roll 20 earlier.
Banner and Hemlock, as this giant swan begins to rock the gondola, you lose your seating and are tossed into the river. The water is very cold. It's surprisingly deep, although it is not rushing. It is sort of, like on a like a lazy river.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of water movement, but it's not enough to like pull you down or hurt you or anything like
Mhm.
that.
Sorry. How deep?
It's probably at least 10 feet deep. You
Okay.
can't really see the bottom of it, given that it is it
Okay.
is deep enough, and there is little natural light left, so it's hard to see exactly how deep it is.
Well, that's
And
fine. It was more of a. Do we stand up in it, or do we have to actually swim? Sounds like swim.
oh yeah, you would need to swim. Featherine is looking at Arlen and Court, very very cross. This is supposed to be a family affair, and the two of you, what? You work here, Mr. Rich. You hear of this?
Feather, you knocked some guests into the. Oh my god, and those fucking frogs. Come on. Let's help them. I'm telling the boss about you. Where are you? Ugh, Featherine, you're better than this. Come on.
Yeah, Featherine, what's up with you? Like, talk to me here, okay? Is everything okay? Like, that seemed like quite a reaction.
Featherine does stop to allow Hemlock and Banner to climb back into the gondola.
I help them up.
There's just a like string of murmured infernal, just absolute quiet panic as he extracts from his coat a book that he expects to be entirely waterlogged, but is in fact to his divine surprise, entirely dry.
Arlen will start like he'll pull out a little candle, and the flame ignites itself and glows with a pink glow, and then that pink glow like swirls around each of you and dries you.
Thank you. Whew. Apologies, Featherine.
Featherine, what the hell?
This is a family affair. We're supposed to be a
So
family.
yeah, don't go throwing people off the boat, Featherine.
Well, I was trying to throw the two of you in. I apologize to the paying customers.
What?
I'm just so... I haven't been able to speak with Burley at all these last few days. He has a brilliant mind. He's wasted guarding the staff tent, and he's just so upset about his brother missing that he just... No one knows what happened to Hurley, although he never did fit in here. He was still part of our family. And that Mr. Witch hasn't bothered to tell anyone what's going on. And
Wait.
What?
Featherine, you can't take it out on the guests.
I was trying to take it out on you,
Well,
which is
the
also
guests are-
wrong, and I apologize to you.
Guests are present, Featherine.
Featherine, there is another missing person?
Well, I mean, Hurley left.
Ah.
I mean, we were told Hurley left some time ago. Yes, I didn't speak to him, and Burley is not quite sure what happened, but...
Very well. I am sorry. Clearly, conversations about death make you uncomfortable and perhaps make you fear for your own mortality. I will speak no more of it.
Featherine, you gotta keep it together. He kind of pats her swan neck. You know I know what it's like. You just can't go doing this.
Again, I'm sorry. We should speak of something else, something lighter, perhaps.
Well, how long have you been employed here at the Carnival?
Oh, I've been here for... Oh, well, this is my fifth trip back to this world, so at least 40 years, I suppose.
In those 40 years, what has been your favorite Carnival attraction, besides, of course, the gondolas ones?
Oh, I don't go on many of the rides, what with having to work, and I do occasionally see the big top, and she is very pointedly not looking at Court, and just says, I have occasionally been to the big top, but I think the crowd shows of the big top are perhaps the best part.
Oh, good to know.
Is there a show in the big top every night?
Every night at midnight is the big top extravaganza, and then later on will be the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch.
And what is that?
What is the Witchlight Monarch? Arlen and Court, have you not told them? Well, the Witchlight Monarch is
You've been here
crowned...
for our entire conversation.
Her eyes narrow at Court. No, you're right, Court. The Witchlight Monarch is sort of a contest, and a person is chosen from the crowd to serve as the Witchlight Monarch, and there's a whole crowning festival, and it's a rather large and important spectacle.
A contest, you say?
Yes.
Is it perhaps a challenge of, I don't know, say, Bran or Bron?
Um, no. I
Hmm.
mean, it's it's sort of about it's well, I don't know what the actual requirements are, but it has more to do with the carnival itself. I mean, enjoying all truly appreciating the services. No, not services. The sentiment of this place. It's well, I suppose Mr. Light could tell you more, but
Hmm. So the carnival has a competition.
Mhm.
Most interesting.
yes, but I mean, isn't as much as that's important, isn't the most important competition the ones we have with ourselves? I mean, wouldn't you say that perhaps most of the competitions in life come down to besting ourselves and allowing ourselves to grow? Or do you
Feathering.
think external competitions?
Feathering.
I
Look,
personally agree with her.
explain.
Boy.
Well, I wouldn't say I grew up in a competitive household, but it was not exactly intrinsically motivating, if you understand. And I found times where I put myself under my own developmental pressure to be a lot more rewarding than otherwise. He drums his hands on the spine of the book.
Hmm. Well,
Not to say that any competition or game against you, Banner, in the couple of times we've met before has not been uh, challenging. Well, challenging would be an understatement, but you understand.
no, I do. I think it is a noble pursuit to better oneself and to challenge uh, oneself to new and greater heights. But for me, uh, a challenge against another is a much greater endeavor for no other reason than there is the opportunity to be surprised by the unknown. Um, and that is really what allows me to lose myself in the endeavor, and mm, that is what makes the passage of that particular time so enjoyable.
I respect your insight.
And I yours.
The gondola ride takes about a full hour um, to go around the entirety of the Witchlight Carnival, during which Featherine continues to sort of prompt you with kind of highbrow questions for a swan. Um,
Love the
sh-
philosophical discussion, Featherine.
she does. And as you pull back up to the jetty where the gondola picked you up in the first place, um, the oh, man, the colors of the sky seem a little bit brighter, and you see a few shooting stars starting to appear fairly regularly in the sky. I'm glad I marked this. Um, and as you are walking back up the jetty, you see several swarms of brightly colored fish swim up to the surface of the water, and as they breach the water, they make this little bloop 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 noise, which plays a little, which it does actually end up playing a happy little tune as you walk back up the pier. and back into the Witchlight Carnival.
Well,
Oh,
Hmm.
thank you for the ride, Feathery. It was very pleasant.
Thank you. I do apologize very sincerely for dumping you into the water. It was very unprofessional, and I understand if you say something to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Oh,
Well,
no, 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 would not dream.
See no reason for that. However, you should also give additional thanks to Alan for drying us off, and most particularly, in my case, most importantly, I should say, I do not have to take additional time out to dry out my tobacco pouch. For if I did, you and I, Featherine, we would have more words.
Another family walks up and climbs into Featherine, who begins to swim back down.
Before whoever the most parental figure is that's part of this family,
Okay.
before they
there's
get
Go ahead.
onto Featherine or into whatever seating arrangement, I will just put my hand on a shoulder, lean in, and say, "Whatever you do, do not bring up the topic of death."
This middle-aged man with a thick mustache and kind of scraggly brown hair looks at you, squints his eyes in abject confusion, nods. He sees your mask and he's staring, but he's just absolutely perplexed as he climbs into the gondola, and his partner leans over. What was that all about? I don't know. Just don't talk about death. Like what?
And Featherine
All right.
immediately dumps them into the drink.
Featherine, if you ever
Featherine.
need someone to talk to, just let me know. I'm always here if you've got anything on your mind. All right.
That's why I speak to Hurley, dear. And with a ruffle of her feathers, she begins to swim down the river.
All right. Oh, you can have more than one friend. Oh, okay.
She thinks we're not smart enough. Don't take it personal.
Well, does
well.
anyone have anything they would like to do next? Perhaps, Alan, Court, I understand that in most circumstances you are here in a working capacity. Perhaps you would like to take this opportunity to try something that you have not been able to experience before as a patron.
Court kind of looks at Arlen and does a huge shrug and it's like, I don't know. I'm on timeout tonight. I'm usually behind the scenes. I don't
Yeah,
know what else I don't know what's going on.
I guess being in front of the scenes might be a nice change. It's been a long time since I've actually watched one of my parents' performances.
Sounds delightful. Let's go do that.
Wonderful. And along the way, perhaps I understand that a carnival as a place should have many confectionals. Perhaps you are interested in feeding your vessels.
Oh my God,
man, you
Adam.
gotta try the funnel cakes. They are just mwah.
You
Knock
know,
your
I
socks
actually
right
have
off.
not eaten in hours. That sounds delightful.
Funnel cake and a turkey leg. Can't go wrong.
Well, we'll see.
As you set off into the Witchlight Carnival, Court and Arlen, you know that the performance that Arlen's parents are putting on will not be for several more hours, not until the Big Top Extravaganza.
Well,
So you have a few hours yet to sort of enjoy the facilities at the Witchlight Carnival. One of which is scattered around the carnival and not marked specifically on the map. There are a number of small stalls offering sort of the typical carnival games that you might find, but also, and more immediately important to poor Hemlock, is the confectionery stalls, and there are um, a number of them scattered throughout the carnival all over the place, selling things like giant cupcakes and funnel cakes and um, lollipops and all kinds of mostly sugary sweet carnival candies. There is there are a few that serve more traditional air quotes food, but even the food that you find here is not the um, there is nothing really mundane. Everything is served on giant flower petals and is perhaps not entirely oddly, most of it is entirely vegetarian here. There are a few places that do have um, the things that Arlen has described, like the turkey legs and all that. And the lines for those are pretty sizable because most of the people from Flane are a little suspicious of, say, a sugar glazed mushroom.
Well, I'm not.
There is also, as indicated on your map, there is a feasting orchard, which is sort of like a buffet. You can small stall it, or you can you can golden corral it, I guess.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think we'll just like pick stuff up at the little stalls.
That's a good choice. The little stalls, honestly, they're better in my opinion. And carrying it around and walking around, seeing the sights and stuff, it's nice. Of course, if you got a family and you're trying to wrangle a full meal, Feast and Orchard's where to go. But
Oh, naturally, naturally.
all right, well, y'all want to check out some other rides while we wait? Carousel's pretty neat, I guess. Hall of Illusions. Now that's a place to go.
Oh, fascinating. Really, but that takes my interest some.
Yeah, what? Why not? I don't mind. I'm happy to tag along.
Arlen will start hopping on towards the Hall of Illusions.
It is not hard to find. It is the second largest tent, aside from the big top, in the carnival, and outside is a glass cabinet near one of the stairwells to the main entrance. Uh, inside of which is a wooden mannequin of a grinning, raven-haired young woman in witch's attire, like, long black robes, pointy hat, green flowing capes, and the whole statue sort of hovers inside. At the top of the cabinet is a large sign that says "Tasha the Wizard, known for her hideous laughter." And as you all are walking up to this cabinet, there is a halfling couple ahead of you, and as they approach the glass cabinet, one of the two halflings wearing um, bright bright skirts with the butterfly wings and butterfly face paint pulls a box from her pocket, and her companion immediately bursts into laughter and with and just falls on the ground laughing at this ring. And at that, the first halfling, just without even going to the ticket booth, runs sobbing into the Hall of Illusions.
Oh my god.
To be clear, this is not me.
Oh my god!
Wait, what the fuck just happened? Like,
Truly? What?
did
Someone was trying to propose in front of the
Right.
Hall of Illusions and got Tasha's hideous laughter cast on them.
Well, the person they were
Yeah.
proposing to.
Yeah.
right?
Holy fuck. That feels worse than the conversation we were having moments ago.
Hmm.
It has been a long time since I have seen a creature's soul crushed before my eyes.
Agreed.
Never-
Agreed.
Never comfortable.
Honestly, it happens like at least every other night.
That's true.
Good heavens! Why?
People think that a carnival's like a cool place to, make
It's
these
not.
big things.
It's
You have
really
to, like-
not.
You have to know the answer is going to be yes, before
Mm.
you do that,
Is
Big-
the halfling still laughing on the ground?
Rolling on the ground laughing for another 20 or so seconds. The whole thing takes about a minute. When
I'm going to
this
approach
halfling-
them.
The halfling stands up and is looking around frantically. Just calling out, just, Runin, dear, where did you go? I was going to say yes, it was this damnable cap. Where did you see
dear.
where she went?
Yes,
Yeah, don't worry.
I am afraid she ran off. I believe she ran off into the Hall of Illusions. Is that correct?
That is correct.
She ran off into the hall. Why? I am confused. What has happened?
I was going to say yes, but the cabinet, I think the cabinet cursed me and I started laughing. I have to go find her. And she immediately heads for the doorway that is in front of you. Not in front of you, but along the platform in front of you.
Wait one moment. We will help you. And I'll just follow her.
Yep.
You guys, the four of you approach the entrance to the Hall of Illusions, and standing there looking extremely confused is Candlefoot, the human, the young human man, a little older than the last time you saw him, still incredibly monochromatic. He has his head in the Hall of Illusions, and it turns around to look at all of you, startles when he clearly realizes you, recognizes you, and waves at you all. He starts frantically pointing at Arlen and Court, and like he's pointing at you, and then he's pointing inside.
Oh, we better go in. Better go in.
He waves his hands, and he holds up a ticket punch.
Oh.
I produce my ticket.
Yeah, Banner holds out his ticket.
He quickly punches your tickets, and then like a third baseline coach is waving you in frantically.
Right.
Okay, I mean we're going. We're going. Sheesh.
Now, what? I'm sorry. What is your name? To the halfling person.
She has already run.
Oh, she's
ahead
already
of
in.
you.
Okay.
She has already run in.
Great. Well, I do not know what to do. Should we run after them and try and be of assistance, or just hope for the best and
Maybe,
Maybe.
help if we can, but it's not really our place to get too in the middle of things.
Hmm.
Well,
I'm really interested to see how it plays out, though.
They'll come. They'll each come out eventually.
I feel I'd like to go help. And Hemlock is going to go inside.
Banner follows Hemlock.
Same.
As you enter the Hall of Illusions, there are tall mirrors just sort of lining the interior walls of the tent. There are dividers with more mirrors strapped to them. Uh, in a normal non-magical Hall of Illusion, these might be bent to make you appear taller or shorter or um, distorted in one way or another. None of these mirrors are shaped at all differently. And as you walk by them, the mirrors actually show you yourselves in different periods. Banner, you see no difference in
Mhm.
yourself, except
It's just
perhaps,
mirrors.
except perhaps, uh, at the first mirror, your bronze framework is bright and shiny and there's no verdigris or anything to it, and as you go, perhaps like your joints start to look a little more green, some of your seams show a little bit of oxidation, but that's about it. Like
Mhm.
first mirror to last mirror, you largely look the same. The rest of you, the first mirror shows you as children, and you all recognize child Arlen from the last time that you were here around the like second or third mirror. But I gotta ask, what does child Court look like?
Just smaller. Just a little smaller, but not much.
Do you have wings?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how complex these mirrors are, Ted.
You would have your wings because you were a child. Actually, all the mirrors show you with your wings.
That's Buck Wild. Wonder what these wacky mirrors going on in there.
Do we all see this, or is it only the individual that sees themselves in the mirror?
It is only the individual that sees themselves in the mirror.
Gotcha.
Get a load of these.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I take that back. I read that entirely wrong. You do see each other.
Hmm.
So all of you
Mhm.
see Banner's relatively unchanging form. You see the familiar Arlen. I even said that the first time. Whew, my brain. And the various Courts and Hemlocks and Arlens.
I recognize you guys now. Look at that. That looks familiar.
Yes. Are these revealing in any way? And he'll adjust his eyepiece some and examine the mirror, but he does not want to try to like break the illusion or whatever. He's still interested in the magic.
It just seems silly. Wacky.
What these mirrors de la ville. Look at you. You are so small at one point.
With your arcane training, these are clearly enchanted mirrors with a combination of divination and illusion magic on them. There's nothing super deep about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What he's trying to figure out is why Court would appear to have wings.
Ain't that zany?
Yeah, we're not that close yet to like get that like intrusive with questions, but it is like that's definitely something that like he's visibly taking note of.
Court is not. he's he's very like blasé about it. Like,
Yeah.
look at that.
Oh, isn't that neat? Bye.
That's weird. Oh.
Perhaps we should continue on, so we don't lose our quarry.
Yes.
Oh God, sorry.
There you are.
anyone hunting for this halfling will make a perception check for me.
Fuck.
Show off those Leoprine senses.
Oh my god, fucking hell.
Killing it, Max.
No wonder my family hates me. Look at this.
So, after about a minute or so, you all have sort of spread out into the Hall of Illusions. The various and sort of infinite reflections of the mirrors throw off a lot of your perceptions a bit as you fan out in search of Runin the halfling. And Banner, you find Runin gazing into one of the mirrors. And oddly enough, in the reflection, you see Runin herself as a little child halfling in the same bright skirts and fanciful top that she's wearing now. But weirdly, standing behind her, only in the reflection, is a young gray-skinned girl holding a large lollipop and
Not good.
wearing a pig mask, who you recognize,
Mm-hmm.
having seen her long before.
Holy fuck. Do you guys, you all are, court points, emphatically.
As you say that, the reflection of the girl in the mask turns startled to look at you, turns around and runs into the mirror, like runs into the reflection away from you. Not the halfling, the girl wearing the pig mask.
Right. So like we're seeing the reflection of her, and she
Runs
basically
away inside the mirror.
turns so we see her back and runs off and disappears further into the mirror.
Correct.
Gotcha.
But do we all see this at this point?
Yes. Once it
Okay.
once it is pointed out, like once someone said something, and you all turn to look, that is when the figure within the mirror snaps over and looks at you all, and then turns and runs off, leaving Runin standing there a little confused.
Come back.
I'm going to pull from my coat a very thin and elegant black wand, press the end to my temple, and send message to that other halfling that we've met, and let her know that we've found her partner.
She responds excitedly that she is waiting outside at the exit to the Hall of Illusions and has no idea how she missed you.
Okay, don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. I think. Yeah, yes.
Runin turns to look at you all and what are you doing here? What's why are you following me?
Hey, quick quizzy for you. Did you see the pig mask girl in the reflection there?
Well, yes. She asked if I had any regrets. Said that she knew someone who could help, but I had to follow. I was confused because she wasn't behind me.
You still got both your feet.
What? She lifts up the bottoms of her skirts just a little bit, and both of her little hairy halfling feet are poking out from under the skirt.
Whew, all right,
yes?
Cool beans.
But that's a very weird question.
More on that in a minute. Good news. You have a fiance. Woo! Yeah. There's
I'll prestidigitate some little like sparkler fireworks out of my hands.
I'll do the same. kind of do jazz hands. Your partner had a hex or something, laughter cast on them, and then you ran and then but they couldn't follow until it wore off, and they'll be here in a minute.
Wait,
Actually,
she's
no, we have to find our way out. She's waiting outside.
Yes, we gotta go get your guess what, fiance. Woo!
1 sec. Before we go, I would like to try something.
Oh my god, we're gonna watch a kid run into a mirror.
He faces the mirror and starts calling, "Hey, dweeb, get back here with my foot!" And then he runs and just smacks into the mirror. Unless he doesn't smack into the mirror, but that's up to you.
well, you do smack into the mirror. It appears to be a perfectly ordinary mirror. I mean, other than the fact that it is showing you the size that you were and with your normal foot, not your spectral foot.
Oh, good heavens.
All right, well, that did not work. Okay,
Well,
let's go get you back to your.
It depends. Were you attempting to smash your head very hard and fast into the mirror?
You know, I was not actually.
Oh well, in that case, it definitely did not work.
Yeah. Thought I might get lucky. Who knows?
Anyway,
let
let's
us,
go, fiance. Woo! Reunite the happy couple. Come on, come on, come on.
What were you saying, Banner?
No, let us go outside. Give your friend another chance to give you the answer you were hoping for.
As the door opens to the exit, and you are let out onto the same. The exit door is literally directly next to the entrance. As you all make your way out and Runin exits, the other halfling immediately launches herself at Runin, and they stand there hugging and crying, and Runin once again goes down on one knee, making very, very sure that they are far away from the cabinet with Tasha in it, and Ween accepts, and
Halfway through the new proposal, I would like to cast Tasha's hideous laughter on the person proposing to interrupt them trying to get the question out.
What the fuck? It's
okay.
horrible.
They just start giggling a little bit, and then I'll hit concentration on it. It just, a little prank.
Just a little curse.
You cast the spell, and this is not subtle or anything. So
No.
Runin looks over at you, and like their mouth starts to twitch into a smile, and they giggle. They start to giggle once and twice, and then you cut the spell out. And if they were not almost immediately smothered by their partner, they would be casting very, 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 very dirty but amused looks at you. The crowd that is nearby just immediately erupts into cheers, and a flock of brightly colored birds fly over, dropping brightly colored flowers that when they hit the ground, when the flowers reach the ground, not flowers, feathers reach the ground, they sprout small patches of brightly colored mushrooms. And as this is all going on, Candlefoot walks back over to you. Arlen, he sort of claps you and Court on the shoulders, and then gives you all a thumbs up, points over at the cabinet and shakes his head, And then just sighs really heavily.
Hang on, I'm failing to grasp what's going on.
Yeah. I'm confused.
K- K- Without speaking, Candlefoot is giving you the impression of how much he hates that fucking cabinet. And job
Oh,
well done on
gotcha.
saving this.
Oh,
happening.
okay. Thank you.
I should just turn on my camera if I'm going to mime, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you got that. Anyone else want to go back in there?
I'm still interested.
You, Banner, you saw that thing, right? If it's, oh, what's it doing?
Yes, I am most interested in what that young girl with the lollipop is doing in the Hall of Illusion.
If she's asking people about their regret, do you think she's taking people?
I wonder if she may
Candlefoot
have
gasps, only there's no sound.
wonder if she maybe had seen Harold that night 8 years ago.
Hold on.
Candlefoot, do you remember the little lollipop pig mask?
He nods fervently.
Sir, you Candlefoot? Is that your name?
He nods.
We've spoken before.
He nods again.
Are you
And
not
then makes
allowed
sort
to?
of like a hopping noise. Or not noise, hopping motion.
Yes.
You-
And then scratches his chin.
Or are
and
you on
moving
mime
pieces
duty
around.
tonight, bud?
He shakes his head and taps his throat.
Sore throat, or you can't speak. And as he's speaking, he adjusts his lens. His cat eye dilates, and I'm casting detect magic.
He is clearly under some sort of transmutation magic. And he brings up an arm in front of his face like he's like got a cloak on, and he goes up on his tiptoes and he taps, like he tiptoes his way over to Banner, and he reaches behind Banner and pulls his hand back like he's stealing something, and then tiptoes his way away.
Sneaky witch stole your voice.
He points at Court, kind of does and then flaps his arms,
A bird stole your voice.
points at you directly, and then does like two fingers walking on a hand.
Oh, dear gods. I'm going to use my wand to draw out with a minor illusion the alphabet for for Candlefoot to use.
Now, where have we seen this trick before?
Great artists steal, okay?
Hell yeah.
Agreed. It takes a long time, but he manages to spell out "Crowman stole my voice."
What the fuck?
Crowman. Do I know of any crowmen?
You do not. There is in fact a kind of unwritten policy against. Well, you
Fey on
you
Fey
all,
tricks.
yeah, like employees don't mess with each other. That is one of the unspoken rules of the Witchlight Carnival.
What the hell? Little Cheese, do you know any Kenku on our staff? I can't think of any.
I don't think so. I mean, I try to know everybody, but
What the fuck?
maybe it was like a guest from a world or something.
Did you know the guy? Look familiar?
Candlefoot shakes his head.
Wow.
Did
How-
they
long ago
Like,
was this?
He looks up at at where the moon is, like holds up an arm, holds up his other arm, and then sort of like brings his arms together as if moving clock arms to say this morning.
What the today? That's right. Oh boy, I would have known if it was sooner. Because I love your voice, buddy.
did this crowman disappear very suddenly, as if they weren't really real?
He shakes his head and then just starts pointing around at various locations in the carnival.
Oh,
You've seen around, okay.
And
can you lead
he
the way?
nods.
Did you tell
He, sh-
Mr. Witch?
he shakes his head and points at the ticket booth.
Oh, you told
So,
Nick.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the ticket booth to the Hall of Illusions.
Oh,
there is
go
a
tell.
thief.
Saw
There's a
them
thief
in the
loose in the carnival, and they are still here. You have seen
He
them.
nods. He nods.
Go tell Nikki. Go tell some hands. You know.
Might be
He
hard
gives
to
you a
tell.
shrug that basically says, "I did."
They didn't
Hemlock
do
is
anything.
going to go back into the Hall of Illusions.
Yeah, we're gonna sort this out, but you know.
Uh,
Oh my god! I cast a message to Candlefoot and ask him if this is. Can you respond?
oh my god.
Sorry, the other components, the response is usually still in a fashion spoken, and I wasn't sure if your voice was your biological voice or your spiritual voice. I apologize. Should have tried this sooner.
Why do I sound like this again? This is awful.
um,
The damn bird stole my voice. I was trying to this is the second proposal that's been ruined.
oh dear God.
Mine was first. And
Oh, what? Oh. oh, oh my God.
he's having a real bad day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is complicated. All right. A crow fellow, a kenku or otherwise.
He shrugs.
Oh, very well. Uh, we'll be back, and I should, within a good 500 paces, be able to speak to you again. Understood?
He nods and pulls out a copy of the map of the Witchlight Carnival. And I believe he points to Silver Song Lake.
Oh, we were just there.
There is a small island within the lake that he is actually pointing at.
Was this where you saw them, or I'm confused?
Are you speaking telepathically again? So we can answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is still message. Yeah.
No, that's where I was proposing to Palasha. She can tell you the details.
Is she still there? Then?
Yeah, that's where she works.
Oh, all right. Very well. Court Arlen. Do you know a Palasha?
Palasha is a mermaid that performs at Silver Song Lake.
Yeah. I do. Yes.
Oh, very well. Then we should head that way. We'll speak with her. Try to clear up this mess quickly and see what we can do about finding the crow man.
Should we go into the Hall of Mirrors first, do you think? What? Big Mask Girl?
I look at everyone else.
I mean,
This
I
way,
doubt that this spirit's like bound to this location. I mean, we saw her before, and she wasn't like trapped in a specific spot. She gets around.
Hmm.
What about the Crow Man? If the Crow Man's in there,
I feel like we might have seen the Crow Man while we were in there searching.
you're in there for like 2 seconds.
Okay, well, I mean,
You,
let's go
you,
check.
you were in there for 2 or 3 minutes.
I stand by my initial statement.
He's a fairy.
Yeah.
I'm just
That,
bringing it up. Just bringing it up.
that was just more for Oliver than for Court.
Yeah, I said what I said, Ted. He's a fairy.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'm just making sure that's all. I'm sorry.
Well, let's go check that joint quick, and if we can't find him, we'll book it.
I think the noun, the subject of your sentence, got cut a little bit there.
Yeah, I was just about to
I
ask
said-
where you guys
I said, let's go scope that joint, and like gestures toward the Hall of Mirrors, and then if we don't find anything, we'll book it.
Fair enough.
Sounds like a reasonable course of action.
All right, let's go.
back into the Hall of Mirrors you go, where once again the sort of infinite reflections and reflections on reflections as the mirrors face each other, and the various versions of you greet you at various ages and states. But there is, other than the footprints in the sort of confetti that you all left behind, not confetti. There is nothing else. There you do not. The mirrors all seem
Banner's
solid.
walking from mirror to mirror and loudly exclaiming, "Oh no, I am so sad and distraught. I have such regrets that I wish I could rectify." And like just loudly from mirror to mirror, like saying that.
Oh, Court starts sobbing as loud as he can.
Oh, it is so sad.
Some of the other patrons in the Hall of Mirror or in the Hall of Illusions sort of look at you weird and make their way out.
I give them a thumbs
But-
up and tip my face to them.
One sentence.
But nothing ever shows up in the mirrors other than your own reflections.
Any crowmen?
No crowmen.
Wow. Okay, let's go talk.
Yeah, back across the
Mm-hmm.
carnival.
Yeah, yep. Through the carnival you go. The crowds are fairly thick, despite the late for the prime material plane.
Banner is keeping an eagle eye out for anything that looks like a crow man.
Whoa, wait, Ted, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did they have to get their tickets punched again?
To go back in. No.
Okay.
Candlefoot just sort of
What
waved
What a
you on.
dick move of him if he were to do that. Oh, we're just trying to like help you propose and shit and get your voice back, but nah, take my fucking punches, asshole.
I'm not sure how strict the rules are.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I would have been blaming Candlefoot.
We can't just bully the man.
We
He's had a
certainly
rough
can.
day.
Yeah, Candlefoot is kind of slumped over the oh god, what are those things called? The podium is, I think, what I'm looking for. Slumped over the podium, where he is kind of half-heartedly greeting people and punching tickets, completely mute the entire time. And
Aw.
as you make your way over to Silver Song Lake, it takes a good 30-ish minutes largely because, like I said, the crowds have gotten kind of thick. It's still early enough that there are people with small children. It's not quite into the full night hours. And passing the area where you climbed into Featherine's gondola, there is a narrow bridge that leads out to um, a what are those things called? Like an overlook, basically. There's a standing area within the lake. Um, the water of this lake is the same bright blue, would be clear if there was better light. And there is a low-lying mist that crawls along the water surface here, um, gathering towards the banks. And a little ways out, in a giant clear bowl with golden with three golden feet supporting it, is uh, a a blue scaled mermaid with long, lighter blue, kind of turquoise-ish hair. Actually, I have
There she is. That's our girl.
I know I have a handout. I know I have one. Here we go. In within the water of this giant bowl, uh, Palasha the mermaid sings a haunting and eerily very, very beautiful song. There are a large number of spectators standing on this wooden um, platform, listening. And as she sings, the water of the lake actually responds to her and starts coalescing into shapes and play out a a a scene in which um, a scene in which a group of adventurers are making their way through through a thick forest, and as she's singing, like, the water is forming up into trees and forming into these adventurers that move around. Um, and anyone who is trained in Arcana would recognize um, the effects of a control water spell, but she's not casting a spell. She's just doing this with her voice.
Incredible.
There's our gal. That's the one.
And as the two groups of adventurers, I'm sorry, as the group of adventurers meets with a group of winged fiends and start to clash together, um, there is a shout from among the tight packed crowd, uh, a, a sudden, just loud, "Ha! You call those demons? Those ain't nothing but methods."
Shut up.
Buzzkill.
And you can see the people in the crowd are kind of looking around for like, what the is that, and moving around. And after another minute or so, a different voice calls out, "Adventurers, those ain't nothing but just, we got guards stronger than that." And the crowd is like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And
Do we see
at,
any
at,
Kenku?
at the second call out, the song begins to sort of falter, and the shapes of the water lose their cohesion for a moment, but immediately spring back up. If you are looking for uh, a kenku or anything, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Well, thank you. I will try. Well,
Oh my god, look at that. Double digits.
make a
Oh, God,
perception check.
I didn't know you were gone, Banner. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Long story short, you have found Kalasha the mermaid, whose magical singing is basically making a movie out of the journey of adventurers and
Cool.
people from the crowd. She is being heckled from the crowd. Arlen?
Oh, Tyler's sitting in the other room. Should I better roll dice for you?
Yeah, sure.
What are these hecklers saying? Do they just not like the show? Is it not
Yeah,
convincing?
they're largely they're picking on the actual contents of the
narrative.
of the narrative, and specifically the watery animations that Palasha is creating.
And I'm trying to see if it's a little Kenku running around.
Banner's going to
is-
start wading through the crowd towards the hecklers.
The voices for the hecklers have come from a couple different spots in the crowd, and as you are wading through these people, the crowds are actually pretty thick. This is or was a pretty popular event. Palasha's voice is incredibly captivating, but none of you are able to find a particular source, even as somebody else calls out and just just a third voice, a third heckler makes a disparaging, just, see, can't even keep the performance up, and
Oh.
with a kind of, I would say, like, loud, but given that she is in water, there is actually sort of an air bubble that escapes Palasha's mouth, and she leaps from her performance globe, ball of water, into the river, and you see her swim off downriver, back the way you all came, essentially.
Palasha. God damn it.
As that happens, and the crowd sort of begins to murmur, and everybody's still looking for the hecklers, but nobody seems to match these voices. The clouds overhead, the skies overhead, excuse me, start to cloud up. The grass sort of loses a little bit of color to it, and some of the flowers in the lily pads on the lake close up.
Oh boy.
Casting detect magic, does that provide any insight to the audience members? I mean, we are working under the assumption this is a Kenku, but we don't know. Maybe there's somebody.
I am, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
I mean, it's a good assumption, but yeah. Anything weird?
There is, as a matter of fact. Well, I mean, first off, everyone here, most of the things here and most of the patrons here have some small level of magical effect on them, whether it's some of the objects that they're carrying as prizes from various games, or just being in such a magical environment. However, there is an individual that stands out, and there is a um, a dwarven man with a fairly long dark beard down to his belly, who is covered in illusory magic, and they are on the edge of the crowd, sort of making their way away from everybody and trying to keep a certain amount of obfuscation, like trying not to really be seen.
I would like to try to see past that illusion.
Make I believe that requires an investigation check.
Sure. Christ. I'll just say that individual over there, that figure, is hiding something and is moving, uh, getting away. I don't.
I want to run that way. I want to run the way Hemlock's pointing.
As does Banner.
As you all take notice of this individual that Hemlock is pointing out, and with not a ton of subtlety, they begin to run essentially on the. I can go to an arrow. Haha. Can I go to an arrow? Maybe like this. They're running this way past the big top, away from the swamp. Essentially, back towards the Hall of Illusions, where you came from. Similar direction to the way Palasha went up the river. She was performing. I am not on ping. She was performing up here, and when she jumped into the water, she went this way upriver.
We'll follow that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
If it's possible to get within 30 feet of them, I would like to try casting Tasha's Hideous Laughter on them again, or on this person now.
Okay. We are going to go into a chase, so I need everyone to roll initiative.
All right.
Wahoo!
Need tokens, Ted.
Oh, we do. You're right.
I don't have one. Fuck.
Oh my god, how do you not? You're right. I still haven't asked you for one. I'm sorry, Court.
I'm so sorry.
I can pull you all on. There is no light, so you should be able to select these, right? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. And Court, you're just gonna have a good old generic token. I'm sorry.
Woohoo! I love it.
Oh my god.
What is going on? How many four? I'm getting a little weirded out by the number of fours.
Like, the thing is, Ted, you're not playing this game, so somebody's got to take his heat.
Be right back for a second.
It is very funny though. I'm happy to play the incompetent.
Let's see if this is going to roll quietly or if it's going to put things into. It's supposed to be set up by default to roll for me.
If you
It
open,
did.
okay.
Now this goes a little weird because who is this? Let me just remove that. Ignore that. You might meet them later. It's fine.
Oh.
And I do mean later.
Well, I never saw anything.
Yeah.
Oh, there wasn't somebody in the turn order for you guys?
Well,
Or-
I didn't see it if I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have never actually run a chase before. These are fun. So a chase is done similar to combat in that you act in initiative, but there's no tactical map. And weirdly enough, a lot of times speed is sort of averaged out. Your speed, you're not moving squares like you would in a tactical map. Most of the times, if you don't have anything to do, the idea is to dash, which can be done a number of times equal to 3 plus your constitution modifier. After that, you start making constitution checks to dash, and failing gives you exhaustion levels. Now, these are not normal full exhaustion levels that don't go away. They just go away once you've had a chance to catch your breath. You can still take normal actions. Essentially, you're just going to describe what you're doing while you're doing this chase. There are a number of factors that will go in. The crowd is thick, for instance, so like that's slowing everybody down. And why did that not sort? I told you to sort. Descending. There we go. This Kenku is about 30-ish feet away from you when he realizes that I just said that instead of this dwarf is about 30 feet away from you. When he realizes that you have pointed at him and begins to take off. Banner, you are up first.
All right, yeah, I'm booking after him, and I will.
Sorry, ignore that. I meant to just look at. Sorry.
I will use my movement and my action to dash, and I will just scream out, "Monsieur, monsieur, please, you have dropped your coin purse. Someone stop that man."
Ooh, make me a performance check real quick.
Mm-hmm.
As you point out the dwarf, several individuals try to step in front of him to block him, and they're pointing at you, like they're putting up a hand to stop him, and it does slow him down a little bit as he barrels through these individuals, but you all have sort of gamed on it.
Oh my god.
Excellent.
Can I stop populating my shit? Sorry.
Never stop populating shit.
You are currently chasing this figure through the aisleways of the Witchlight Carnival.
I want to follow in Banner's lead, kind of holler at people, be like, "Hey, stop that guy!"
Will this? Yep, still quiet. You do get several people who once again step into the way. A lot of people look at you and watch him barrel through the first set of people. It has slowed him down, not quite as much. There are not as many people stepping in the way, having seen the first effort.
Okay.
As the Kenku, God damn it, I did it again. As your target is running, he runs by a small cart that is being pushed by a witchlight hand. A tall and skinny elf, and is calling out and holding up sweets, and he's got various balloons. And this dwarf, totally a dwarf, I haven't said the wrong thing twice or anything like that, grabs the cart and knocks it over in your guys' way in an effort to gain space.
Oh fuck.
As you each pass on your next turns, essentially, I will need, starting with Arlen, since Court has gone, I just didn't advance the thing because I'm not good, a dexterity check. Dexterity acrobatics.
Can I just use my bonus action rabbit hop to just clear plane?
You sure can.
Because it lets me jump like 10 feet up.
Isn't it 15? Or is it different?
5 times your proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
So right now.
Oh, yeah. I can do math.
So.
You sail over this cart easily and actually make up some of the ground on this Kenku. God, fuck! I need to stop.
I need to 30
give me a
feet
minute
of this fool.
I don't understand why you're so upset, Ted. That like you've just revealed that this dwarf's name is Kenku. Like I understand, we now know his name. It's a little weird, but fine.
I would like to try to cast Hideous Laughter on him.
Okay, that is a wisdom save.
Yes. DC is 14.
So the dwarf manages to take 2, 3, 4 steps, and he's struggling, and he's just struggling, and then he clutches his side and falls to the ground. And the sound coming out of this dwarf is absolutely nothing like either of the heckling voices you heard. This is a high-pitched cawing laugh. I believe that incapacitates him, right? Yeah. He is a little bit too far away to grab because you had to slow down to cast, but he is currently on the ground.
All right.
Hemlock.
Oh God, everything I have is so violent. So I'm gonna just dash.
You do come upon the cart. I need you to make a dexterity acrobatics check to get over it, or an
Sure thing,
athletics check.
boss.
Your call.
Christ.
My God.
Killing it.
Hemlock.
My highest roll tonight is a 9.
Oh, you got a 10, I think, earlier.
It was a total of a 9. It was a total of a 10. My die roll was a 9.
You are making your way through this crowd, and it is a little too late that you see this cart as you kind of make, like, the elf is in the way and you push past him and just stumble across the cart. You do get your dash. It does cost you a little bit of, it costs you about half it costs you half the dash is essentially what it costs you. So the dwarf is on the ground still, about 15, 20 feet in front of you. Banner.
All right. I can use an athletics check to try and get around this cart. Is that correct?
Yes. Athletics or acrobatics.
Okay. And how far away am I from this guy?
You should be.
Well, before you try and figure that out, here's my plan. I'm going to get hands on this guy.
Yep.
Right. And whether or not I'll use my action surge if I need to do it.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah. With louder and more solid footsteps than normal, you just barrel down the street.
Mhm.
You don't even stop for the cart. You just smash into it like this is a movie car wreck, and the cart itself goes spinning away. It bumps into the elf, who is knocked to the ground. He's not hurt, and you are able to run up and grab this dwarf. Your hands go through some of the dwarf parts of him, and you can, because you have interacted with it, see straight through the illusion. And I can finally say Kenku without saying the wrong thing. And yeah, that'll end our chase, because I don't think he can escape. He will make one attempt to escape you. But, well, no, he first has to break through the laughter. Why did I close this sheet? So as the sound of this horribly high-pitched laughter finally fades, as this individual drops. I'm wrapping up right now. It's okay. The illusion of this dwarf figure fades away, and you are left holding on to a small corvid figure, a Kenku, who looks up at you and in their own voice, in a voice unlike either of the two hecklers, looks up at you and says, "Well, you caught me," and we will pick up there next week.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Woohoo!